Burns, what's up, brother? Yeah, we're live. Should be. Did you get a notification? Okay. Right at 4 minutes. You're the first one that's popped. I don't know what the hell's up with it, bro. Is there should be a link in the notification though, or in the description if you want to join up. Yeah, I don't know why it's not. Why it's messing with my notifications again. I don't know if it's lagging or what. But you're welcome to join me. It might just be us on here, but you're welcome. If I don't lose you, if I don't lose service, man, I'm in these hills. But yeah, I'd like to talk to you some about, you know, about your faith and all that. Cool.
No,
Mis- Mr. Burns. It's probably just gonna be me and you, man. I don't know.
that's all
That's
right.
fine.
Yeah. Well, I just
It's that
read. Or go ahead.
I was gonna say it's that dang Satan worshiper down the road from your house, man, screwing
I
up
just
the whole
asked my.
thing.
I told you I asked my wife about that. I said, "What do you think it is about that house?" My daughter was up, so I called it that weird house, right? But she goes, "Oh yeah, the Satan worshippers." I was like, "You think they're witches or Satan worshippers?" She's like, "No, they're 100% Satan worshippers." And I was like, "Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's there's something." Like I said, man, it's all. It's just all wild stuff. There's like, what do they call them? I don't know, the inverted upside down star crap, right? Like the I kind of want to drive over there just so you can see it. It's wild.
Hmm.
They
Hey
don't.
man, do what you want to do. I don't mind. I'll look at it.
Yeah. All right. Give me a couple minutes.
Just
I'll head
me and
over
you
there.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
head over
cool.
there in a couple minutes. I just read Daniel. What the in the lion's den.
Oh yeah.
I try to do. What is it with it in the Bible? Every story you read, it's just people trying to kill. People trying to kill. Just yeah. It's just it's all like death and destruction the whole way through. You know what I'm saying? Like
you know, that's something like people say the Bible's boring, right?
yeah.
And it's like, well, you've never read the Bible then because the Bible has nothing but like
Yeah.
drama in it the whole
Yeah.
way through, right?
No. Yeah. It's I don't remember who it was. And what did I read last? I read Ephesians. Before that, I read. Gosh, I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't remember. I think it was Paul though. Whoever it was. I think it was. I think I want to say it was Peter or Paul. But they tried to kill him like 300 times in that book. I can't
Yeah.
remember. Um. Yeah. Yeah. It's wild stuff. That's just all it's about. It's just people nonstop trying to kill followers of Jesus. You know, and
Well,
even they.
and that's the nature of man, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's what we do.
Hmm.
We destroy. But yeah.
Well, this one, so I've heard the story of Daniel in the Lion's Den. I never really knew what happened. So that's kind of neat too. Is like I've always heard these stories, like usually from my uncle and that he just talk about stuff and he'd tell stories about just like quick stories on stuff. But now reading it for myself, it's kind of neat to get the whole thing. Like I've heard that he was put in the Lion's Den, whatever, right? And he made it through,
Yeah.
and I didn't know that the next morning the king came back, took him out, and then everyone that accused him of stuff, he threw them in there along with their wife and kids. and they all died.
Mm.
I didn't know that, but now I know
Yeah,
that.
that's
That's crazy. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But I mean, what are we doing here? You
Yeah,
know,
man, that stuff's all through scripture too. It's like,
and it's always a setup too. It's always someone trying to set someone up. Like on that one, it was like, all right, how about you make a decree that no one can worship anyone but you for the next 30 days, knowing that he's gonna be worshiping God, right? Because they couldn't catch him on
yeah,
nothing. So you have the king make a decree that no one can do it, and if they do, they get put in the lions down, knowing that he's gonna do it. And I don't think he knew that there was like a law against it. I don't know if I caught that part or not, but it turns out that he was like guilty by association or something, and they just went after him for it. But it's like they set him up and it backfired. But that seems to be the story, where like people just try to set you up, which is it's
yeah.
wild
I
too.
mean,
You hear about the red heifer stuff? It was probably last year in Jerusalem, right?
yeah, yeah,
So my problem with that, because you get people like my sister, like, did you hear about that? Like, she's pretty into it too. Um, she's different than me. What I don't know how to word it. She's different though, but she's in it. She reads and all that stuff too, right? She does her own thing, but and we talk a couple days a week. She'll call me usually when I'm on my way home, and we'll talk for like an hour and a half or whatever, and just talk about the Bible or just current life events and stuff. It's all right. Um, but I don't know. We go back and forth on a lot of our beliefs, right? Because again, she doesn't. She's against holidays. She's against um a lot of stuff. Like she homeschools her kids, right? Because she's worried about them being like indoctrinated from schools, and I don't believe that you could just keep them safe from everything. You know what I'm saying? At some point, life has to happen.
yeah,
You
yeah. I
can't.
agree with that. But me saying that though, I mean, and this is before I was like this has been years ago. But me and my wife talked about it, and it's like, and I live in a small community, right? So it's not even like a big city school or nothing, but the public school system, it'll work. It'll get them educated to be give them a basic education, a general education. I guess that's kind of what it's designed to do. But
Yeah.
uh, if I had children and I was able to homeschool them, first off, I don't think I'm smart enough to do that. But if I was, I would
Hmm.
I would try to homeschool mine too. But that's just that's just I think that's
Yeah.
personal preference. But I mean, I get it though. I get why people do that, especially nowadays with this like transgender crap being pushed in the schools and all that. It's like, man,
Oh yeah. I know. I talked to my oldest son, and he'll be 17 next month, right? And I just talked to him about it. I'm like, you never had a girlfriend. I'm like, what's going on here? Let's talk about it. And he's like, I don't want to
uh
talk about that.
oh,
And I was like, I'm just saying, man, you don't talk about girls. You don't. He just play. He plays he likes golfing, bowling, and he just plays on the computer, right? And he
yeah,
don't. He doesn't give me a hard time. He doesn't get in trouble. He just likes gaming. He doesn't really have many friends, but he's cool with that. But I don't have many friends either, so I get it. It's like quality over quantity kind of a thing. And
yeah, that's good.
but yeah, I mean, I've always just had a real small circle, and but that's kind of how he is too. He doesn't need many, to get through life. And but I asked him about that, man. Like, what's going on? What's the deal? And he's like, man, these girls are weird. And I'm like, nah,
Yeah,
like I'm like, dude, just excuses. Like, let's talk about some stuff. And he's like, no, man, they're furries. They're, the dudes are chicks, the chicks are dudes. And I'm like, oh man, I forgot all about that crap. Like, yeah, you're cooked, bro. Like you are cooked.
yeah, dude. I
You're
mean, like,
done.
honestly, like, different just because of my age and just my age group. But I mean, if I was a youngster. like coming up today, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That's you you know, it's kind of like what you're talking about with your son. It's like I might be the same way too. Like, no, no, Dad, them folks are weird. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what he says. Yeah, he's just like, man, they're weird. The dudes are chicks, the chicks are dudes. They're furries. They're. I'm like, man, we had goth chicks. That's like as crazy as it got when I was young. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's the other. The other hard part is like just raising. You never had kids?
No, I don't have any children. Uh.
Oh yeah. So all mine were unplanned, right? My oldest one. So I got kids with two different women, right? I got my daughters with my wife, and I have uh my two sons. They got the same mom, but that stemmed from a one night stand.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm trying to make the best of it, whatever. That lasted, like 7 years or something. But um, you know, it's tough. I mean, just the world, because and I feel like I failed as a parent in a lot of ways, right? Like, you ever hear that whole like, what is it? It's like strong men make like good times make weak men make hard times make strong men, right? You ever hear that?
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard that.
So I feel like I'm making weak men, and I feel like I did. So like I'm
Mm.
definitely, and but I feel like it's because I dealt with so much that I try to make sure my kid's life is fairly easy, or at least a lot easier than mine, right?
Yeah.
And that's like my kids try to, when they try to, and not that they get out of line so much no more, but growing up, and I tell them like, dude, you're going down a road that like you won't survive. Like been
Mm.
down that road, and the 17-year-old me would have smoked you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we're on two different levels. You would not have lived through the stuff I lived through. Like, you're not built for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did it. It was tough. I'm surprised I made it out. You ain't making it through it. I promise you that.
Yeah.
But like that's the thing is like I their whole life I've been trying to shove it down their throat to like love everyone, give everyone a chance, be honest, trust people, right? But then it's like I'm trying to raise them to be decent human beings in a world that demands you can't be a decent human being. And I feel like I'm setting them up for failure. And I'm like, oh God. But the other option was to become a monster, right? And like you either got to be a decent human or a monster. That's kind of like at least where we're at. Those are your options, man. And it's like let's try being a decent human. But in a you full of monsters, you know. And it's like,
Yeah.
how do you?
Like with that, I mean, and I think a lot of people might struggle with that. Like trying to be a good person. Um,
Mhm.
and but you got to find that balance of because like the world's view of a good person is somebody who just uh, who lets everything happen, right? Who doesn't stand for nothing. Because if you stand
Yeah,
for something, then that means you're opposed to others, and you can't be good if you. How are you a good person if you're saying these people are bad or they're wrong or this is that? Just that whole garbage. But like
yeah,
you can be a decent human being and not let people run over you or take advantage of you, right? Uh,
yeah,
and that's kind of the hard balance right there, right?
yeah. No, yeah, that's the thing I struggle with is because I don't want them to deal with the things I've dealt with, right? And I don't want them to see the things I've seen or be, take part in things I've taken part in. And so I just went with just do the opposite of what I did and everything. And the problem is the opposite of what I did makes you weak, right? At
It
the end of
it
the day,
leaves
like
leaves them to
there's
be it leaves them to be prey to people who are like you.
yes. Yeah. And so that's the thing. But like my oldest and my oldest is awesome. I mean, they're all the kids are awesome in their own right, right?
Yeah,
But like I think he's super smart. He's probably gonna get a great job, make a ton of money. But I think that he's also people are gonna take advantage of him his whole life. Where my middle child is a lot like me when I was younger. And that one, he's a that's the one that I say me and him are gonna end up figuring something out in the middle of the street here in a couple years. When he becomes of age, me and that boy are gonna figure some stuff out. You
Yeah.
know, but he's a lot like me, and he's gonna have a lot of fun, but he is gonna learn every life lesson the hard way. You know, and that's kind of where he's at. And you know, you try to break him of it and just pour love onto him and show him like this ain't it. You know, because that's why I tell him like, bro, this I was, you know, I mean, I've been getting in trouble since I can remember. You know, or having the cops come to my house because I was out doing things I shouldn't have been doing. And you
Yeah.
know, but my parents weren't around. Like I'm here though. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be that. I'm not that. You know what I'm saying? I'll be here. I'm always a phone call away. It doesn't matter, whatever. Don't matter the time of day or whatever. I'm here. You know, whatever you need, I got you. And you know, I didn't have that. So I was
Yeah.
just running the streets. And, you know, I was basically being raised by my sister. But, you know, she's 4 years older than me, so she's trying to figure it out too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're just two kids trying to figure out life together and, you know, just making mistakes as we go. You know, and that's the problem. You know, but I, you know, again, you know, they're all right in their own ways. It's just like I feel like you know, I should have made sure that they had a backbone first, and then like you know, make sure their foundation was sound, and then build the other stuff. Where I just was like, you know what, man, don't worry about the other stuff. Like I'll tell you when life gets wild, I got it. I'll take the wild. You just be a decent human. Love everyone. You know, appreciate everyone. Hold the door for people. You know, it's always yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. Right? It's just be respectful. As respectful
Yeah.
as a human can be. That's what I need you to do. But like in there, didn't teach them to have a backbone. So I'm like, dang. You know, but like me, I got expelled in 8th grade. Went to alternative school. Like I've been stabbed. I've had guns pulled on me a few times. I've been there. I've been through it all. You know, and I still would say the worst part about everything. Well, the scariest part was the guns. The guns were the scariest part, right? But the I'd say the pepper spray was probably the worst part. Being pepper sprayed. That was the worst part.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that one. That was the worst part. Oh, the worst part was getting in the shower after you went pepper sprayed. That was the worst part.
Mm.
That's
Yeah.
something I don't forget. But yeah, that's all you know. It's life lessons, man. You learn them, and that's why I tell these kids, like, bro,
Yeah.
you won't live through the stuff I've done, and you know what I'm saying. You ain't gonna do it. There's no way,
Yeah.
you know. And but I don't know. But yeah, I don't know, man. Daniel's dope so far. Um,
Yeah.
I do have a couple issues though, and some of the stuff I've been reading. And it's not issues with what I'm reading. It's issues with. I mean, everyone's got their own opinion, right? So, you've read Daniel, right?
Yeah, I've read it. Like I haven't read it recently, but I believe I've read it. Read the whole book, yeah.
So there's like Nebuchadnezzar, right?
Okay, yeah.
So he was turned into something, right? And now
Is it
I've
is this
heard,
one that was is this the one that was eating grass and stuff like that?
yeah, he was eating grass with the ox, but his fingernails grew out like eagle claws or whatever. I think it was eagle claws, bird
Yeah, he
claws,
was
eagle claws. I
cursed.
don't remember. Yeah, I mean, you know, something happened, but you know, like there's a guy I watch on YouTube fairly often. It's called the Confessionals, and he buys into. He's he's pretty heavy in the word, but he's also pretty heavy into Bigfoot and Dogman, and that
Yeah.
comes from like demonic stuff and portals and blah blah blah. And then like the other day I was listening to it, and he got into an example was Nebuchadnezzar being turned into essentially what he would call a werewolf. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, maybe, right? I haven't got to that part yet. So then I finished up Ephesians. I hopped in, I Googled it, hopped into Daniel because that's where that's at. And I'm reading that, and I didn't get a werewolf at all. I mean, I don't know because, I mean, a werewolf, as far as what I know of a werewolf from the movies and stuff, they ain't eating grass with ox, right?
Yeah, it's more like what I think about is, and this is just like a modern day look at it, but you see these people that are like um and I mean you can even Google like I don't know the name of it, but they're people and they'll eat grass and they'll be out there with like sheep and trying to live like sheep. And I mean it's the
Okay.
same thing with like these dog people who have to wear a muzzle and get walked around and bark and stuff, act like a dog.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
it reminds me of something like that, like he was cursed for sure, like something of the mind, right? That had him acting that way in Daniel, I
Yeah.
believe. But it kind of reminds me, like not something supernatural in the sense of a werewolf, like transformation or something, but just like I mean, because if you're mentally, if something's wrong with you mentally, like you have dementia or something, and you're going out there and you're trying to act like a cow or something and eat the
Yeah.
grass and stuff, where you're not gonna bathe right, you're not gonna clip your nails, they're gonna grow out, or you're not gonna take care of yourself,
Yeah. That's what it said. His
stuff
hair
like
grew out
that. But
like eagle feather. I don't know if it was eagle. It was a bird feather. I know that. But it says his hair grew out like the length of like bird feathers, and some like maybe his hair was matted, like some kind of dread type deal. I don't know. Right? Like I don't know how
yeah,
to
like a
decipher
wild man,
that.
probably.
Yeah, like a wild, yeah, like someone who hasn't seen a shower in a minute. You know what I'm saying? Uh, yeah, someone living amongst the ox. I guess what
Yeah,
what they would.
and you gotta think like you're talking about King Nebuchadnezzar, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean this guy was a king, he was royalty, so they had people that would feed them stuff, that would, bathe them and keep them, the top tier people. They
yeah,
got people taking care of stuff for them, so they're well kept. Uh, and I mean, just imagine, it's like seeing, imagine Donald Trump, who's a billionaire, or Elon Musk, who's a billionaire, and then throw them amongst the homeless for 2 years
yeah,
and give them no access, or they're going to look like a beast compared to what they look like, how they were before.
yeah.
uh
So you
that's
don't
kind
think
of
it
how
would
I
did?
see it.
Okay. Yeah, no, you're probably right. Like I said, after hearing, but that's the problem that I have is a lot of stuff I haven't read yet, and I take people's word for stuff, and then it gets me thinking something completely different than once I read it because I didn't take that at all. That he's, I mean, yeah, it says that his like nails grew out like eagle claws, but that could have meant he didn't clip them. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
like it
saying?
just untook care of.
Yeah,
I
yeah. He
mean,
just
he's
looked
out there.
a little mangy. You
Yeah,
know?
like when I when I'm reading scripture, and I'd actually have to go back to the text, like literally, and read it and pray on it and stuff to kind of you know, give a more correct answer. But I'm just kind of going off memory. But when
Hmm.
you're when you come across stuff like that in scripture, um, you know, it, like God gave us a rational mind, right?
Yeah,
Give us logical thinking and stuff like that. And not to say there's not supernatural things that happen, but when you come across stuff like that in the scriptures, I try to think of it like what makes more logical sense first off,
yeah,
and line up with the rest of scripture instead of uh allowing like what Hollywood's kind of implanted in my mind through movies and stuff.
sure.
Uh you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I mean that's kind of what I'm thinking. Now, does that mean that God couldn't have turned that man into a dog man, or you know some type of beast? No, that doesn't mean that at all. It's just what's more logical? He's gonna give him a curse of the mind and make him act like a beast,
yeah,
or he gonna literally physically transform him into a furry beast with demon claws. I mean,
sure.
this is descriptive literature. This trying to explain the drastic change of a king that's now in the field eating grass with an ox that held itself
Yeah,
above all these people that were well kept. You know what I mean? They're trying to describe a picture of the drastic change in this person, I guess, in my opinion.
yeah. No, I'm with you because I believe he was like the king over all the world at that point.
Yeah.
So to be the king of everything to eating grass with ox, like that's a big move.
And
You know, I
I don't
mean,
think he could like speak or anything, right?
yeah, I don't remember.
Like,
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think it really touched it much. But I mean, judging that he's going to be eating grass and growing claws and his hair's going to be crazy long, I doubt he was holding conversation. You know, I doubt he was telling
yeah,
people it's just a phase. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he probably just went crazy.
like a
And,
wild,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah, like a wild man. He went, he
yeah,
lost his mind there for a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah,
But from what I heard, he comes back and becomes king again. I haven't got that far, but you know, I've heard that part. So, but I don't know,
and
man. Like,
we, we hear about this like today too. Like people have mental
yeah.
breakdowns. And do wild things. So yeah, I don't
I
know.
mean, well, that's, that's one thing that, because people talk about different encounters they've had with different things and whatever else, right? Like what brought them to God or what, whatever. And yeah, I've still put all this on my neighbor, like opening that door, 'cause that door closed a long time ago for me. Um, and I think just my neighbor getting my daughter into that school and this and that, opened this back up for me, right? I really believe that.
Mm,
And but like I said, I had a mental breakdown at work, years ago, and I was just sitting there crying, and I want to say I was asking God why this, why that, but I don't remember what I was even saying. I remember just breaking down, and then I remember something like I felt like something touched my back, and this warm thing went just like lightning, dude, just went through my whole body. It was just this like
mm,
warmth, and like every emotion that I possibly had just was gone. There was nothing left. There was nothing left. It was like complete peace all at once through my whole entire body. And like I stopped crying and was like, what was that? Right? Like I've never felt this before. And, don't know. I don't know. Was that like the Holy Spirit? Was it, was that God, kind of coming to be like, hey, it's gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, or, I don't know what it was. It wasn't
yeah,
nothing. It wasn't nothing regular. I'll tell you that. It's nothing that
yeah.
I don't think people just have because they were having a bad day or whatever. I think it's something supernatural.
You were broken. You were broken.
Yeah, yeah. And like I tell you this, man, I hope that's what heaven feels like. You know what I'm saying? There's just like, because you
Yeah.
hear people talk about, you know, when if they go to not it's usually never if, it's when, right? Everyone says when they go to heaven. I never hear people talking about if. So it's when they go to
Yeah.
heaven,
Everybody.
and they're gonna be sad about like their mom not being there or their kids not being there. But like the Bible it doesn't tell you you're gonna be sad about nothing. But I can promise you this, that if that's what it feels like, you're not gonna feel nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like I don't know if it's complete, if it's joy, but it's complete peace. I would say that. Like there was nothing, dude. Every emotion I had was gone in a second. And there's nothing
Yeah.
anyone could have said that would have did whatever that was. Right? That was just like, here, let me, uh, and it's gone. You know what I'm saying? That was it. And no one could have came up and gave me a 10 grand and I would have felt any better. You know what I'm saying? Like I was
Yeah.
emotionally, physically broken. It wasn't a
Yeah.
financial issue. It wasn't a whatever. It was just tired of people being evil and just, whatever. But I don't know. But dude, the world's, what is it? It's always evil all the time, continuously, right? And that's the
Yeah.
sad part of life. And then you get into like the political aspect of life, right? And you just hear, what it was. Did you see that thing? It was Netanyahu gave a little speech thing talking about how. Did you see that? It was within like the last month or two, where he talked about how
No.
Jesus has no. It wasn't no more powerful than Genghis Khan.
No.
No,
I
that's a
didn't
good
hear
time.
that. I hadn't even. I hadn't even. I kind of got away from politics when
Okay.
I realized that they're playing us. It's two
Sure.
wings on the same bird,
Yeah.
and they play us against each other. And
Yeah.
they keep us divided to keep power. They don't tell us the truth because the truth's not in them. Um,
Yeah.
and uh, you know what I mean. So it's like,
Yeah.
I,
That's-
when I got wrapped up in politics because Trump and Hillary and all that, but I
yeah.
noticed it's like everything I'm seeing is it's whites against blacks, it's racism, it's
Yeah.
sexist.
It's it's like divide
It's
and conquer, man.
always exactly. It's always something other than a resolution. It's never
Sure.
uplifting. It's never positive. It's always stuff to either induce fear or confusion, and neither one of those things are from the Lord. So, uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I just it was weighing on my spirit, is weighing on my mind, is making giving me a bad heart toward people because I was
Sure.
believing what I was seeing on the screen instead of what I was actually seeing and living in the world.
Yeah.
So I had to
Well,
quit.
that's
I had to
and
quit
that's
following it.
something I try to remember. Yeah, I try not to. I'll tell you what, COVID. I mean, I've always leaned right. I think I'll always lean right, even though I still think that they're the problem as well. You know,
Absolutely.
but I just I COVID gave me free time, right? Because I've always, ever since I was even in high school, man. I was probably 15 when I got my first job, and before I was 16, I mean, I was working 40 hours a week and going to high school, right? So
Mm,
like, I mean, I've always been working and working multiple jobs just to try to get by. And COVID happened, and I got laid off, and then they were doing that like extra $600 a week, so I didn't have to worry about like paying bills. I was making enough to cover everything, right? And I was chilling for like 3 months. I got to stay home, and yeah, I'll tell you this: like in my family, they're self-proclaimed Republicans. They're still not, even though I think that whole everything's trash. Um, they're super Democrats that decided the Republicans now because Trump ran for office and he's not a politician. Although the definition of a politician is someone that runs for a position of office and is voted in. So by default, he
yeah.
became a politician when he became president the first time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that argument's void, but that's their opinion. They still claim he's not a politician. However, that works. And yeah, I had a lot of free time there for a couple months. And like my mother-in-law runs a food pantry, right? And I've always heard Democrats are shit. They don't work for nothing, right? They want everything for free, whatever. And that's how I was raised. That's what was beaten into my head my whole life. Is they want everything for
Yeah.
free. They don't work for nothing. And now my wife's family are all super Democrats, except for my
Mm,
mother-in-law runs that food pantry. And one day they ran out of food, and they don't have money. They've been poor forever, right? And they took what very little they had, and she went grocery shopping and bought a bunch of canned goods to take it to the food pantry to give it away. And I'm sitting here thinking,
mm.
hang on a second, you guys are here for handouts, and you always want something for nothing, but you're taking the very little you have just to give it away. And I'm like, so this goes against everything I was ever taught, right? So then I got to start like using my own brain and thinking that maybe this isn't the case, right? And so I don't know. That's the only good thing for me that came out of COVID, I guess, is I was able to understand that not everyone's, I guess you just judging books by the cover. I've been pretty good at that my whole life. Although, people say you can't do it, I think you can do it, and I think you're probably going to be spot on most times. You know what I'm saying? And you're not supposed to do it. I think
Well,
you probably hit the nail on the head every time. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and well, and honestly, if you ask people, are you a Republican or a Democrat? Are you a conservative or a liberal or whatever? Most of the time, most people, and myself included, like I would say I'm more conservative just because I try to hold a biblical worldview, and that just in its by its nature is going to be more conservative, right?
Yeah.
But uh, am I a Republican? I lean more Republican just because I'm more conservative, and Republicans tend to be more conservative.
Sure. Yeah, my
But
reasons are very easy. I'm against abortions through and through, right?
yeah,
And there's only one party that kind of feels that way. So, and that's like that's my thing, right? I mean, for people that sit here and talk about how they're this or that, and they dog out the other side completely. Like, there's no way. And this is my just total being honest here. There's no way that anyone, I don't think, could sit down if you, and I don't know everything that everybody stands for, but if I did had all knowledge of everything that everyone stood for, there's no way that I could sit here, look someone in the eyes, and tell them that I'm against everything they stand for. There's no way. There's gonna be something I'm like, yeah, that's not bad. That doesn't seem bad to me, right?
and see, and
So,
and and that's the thing. Like if you ask them, it's gonna be like there's gonna be one or two major points that
mhm,
separate the people. Most people are probably gonna meet in the middle somewhere. Um,
yeah,
and that's I think is really the truth of it. Most of us are have more in common than we have set in different. Um,
sure,
but we focus on the differences, right? And like we're the like abortion. Of course, I'm not pro-abortion because I'm pro-life because I'm Christian.
hmm,
But um, these, my religious beliefs, of course, because I'm a Christian, they're going to overflow into my political beliefs and how life should run and how people should operate, just because of the morality this through my religious beliefs. But if you're looking at it from like if you took my religious beliefs out of it
hmm,
and I was just speaking because I'm a Christian first before
okay,
I'm a husband or an American, right? So,
okay,
but if you took that out of it and I was just like off like uh just strictly carnal and from the American standpoint, what I would do I agree with abortion? No. Do I think people should have the choice to choose? Sure. Why not? Right? This is a
yeah,
free country. Do I think my tax dollars should pay for it? No. Um,
yeah,
just things like that. But gun laws, of course, we should be able to own firearms. I'm an American,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
uh, and then taxes come up and stuff like that. But one of the issues I found, if I'm being honest, is that uh, it's it doesn't even seem like it's a left versus right or a Republican versus Democrat. It's more like the left is something different completely um,
Well,
than what it
the
used to
left went
be.
left. That's the problem. Yeah, that's what they say is like old school Democrats are actually like today's Republicans, right? Then
Yeah,
then they claim that like this other stuff came about and like they just went with it, right? I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what
I
changed
don't either.
where, but I mean it's all been, but it's because it's always evil all the time continuously. It doesn't matter. And if
Yep.
that's the case, then both sides are wrong. Like my
Yeah.
mom is a super Trumper, dude, through and through. And like it
Yeah.
grosses me out, right? Like you can whatever, but I mean, dude, it bothers me because she's always like, "Do you see what Trump
Eh,
did?" I'm like, "What did he do? Killed tens of thousands of children in a foreign country for something?" She goes, "Why would you say that?" I'm like, "Oh, I thought that's what we were talking about. Okay, tell me something good he did, right?" Because like
well,
again, well, she was so stuck that he read a chapter from the Bible. Did you see what Trump did? I'm like, what does that mean? He read. You think the devil never read the Bible? You think demons don't know the
pff,
Bible?
I mean,
Stop.
atheists read the Bible all the time.
Yeah, that's my point. What is he doing? And that's like when I was telling you about that one guy. I think I sent you that thing about that one guy when he gets an abortion. He had the same situation. I mean, he went deeper with it than I was, but he's like, why didn't Trump read the Bible? It's great. Why didn't he like call out abortions? Why isn't he doing stuff that we should be doing? If you're sitting here saying you're a Christian and you're the most powerful man in the world, why aren't you using that platform? You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I had this argument that I like to hit people with just to, again, ruffle some feathers because I enjoy doing it sometimes. is like Democrats don't care how many kids die as long as they're in the womb, and Republicans don't care how many kids die as long as there's oil involved. And I don't think I'll
Yeah.
ever move on that. I really don't. So like, somewhere Democrats change their opinion when it leaves a room and enters a school. Now it's a problem. What are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? Every time there's a shooting or something, it's this giant problem. But dude, how many kids are dying in schools compared to abortions? Stop. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
don't think that, and I'm not saying it's not horrific, right? I'm not trying to play it down or nothing like that. But I'm saying I don't know how many kids died last year in the school shooting. Less than 100. How many kids died last year in abortions? Roughly 70 million. What are we talking about?
Well, the way they justify that though is it's not a person yet, right?
No, but dude,
They don't.
but dude, a microscopic organism on Mars is life. You know what I'm saying? So it's not life in a
Yeah,
womb,
I
but
mean,
it's
I agree.
a single cell organism on Mars is life. What are we talking about? Like if a spade is
I
not a spade, then
agree.
you know what I'm saying? We can't.
And
You can't do that.
what aggravates me about the abortion argument, their whole argument is what really is so intellectually dishonest and comes from a place of bad faith because their big argument is, oh, what about rape victims or
Yeah,
childbirth complications that could kill the mother? What about these, um, you know, small percentages of
yeah,
abortions? What about these women?
sure.
It's like, well, of course, whatever. But that's
Well,
not what it is. That's not what you're pushing. What you're pushing is an escape route for women to not have to uphold their responsibilities and
sure.
take accountability for their actions of being loose and fast with men. It's
There you
like,
go. Those good words. Yeah,
you
I
know,
use different
I
words, but
mean,
yes.
what? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like, why don't you be real with what it is? Like, no, I believe it's my body, my choice. I can go screw around with who I want to, and I have to pay the consequences of being a mother. And if that
yeah,
don't work, well, then I can take the father to court and make him pay for it
yeah. Well, that's just the
and
broken
weaponize
system.
the child. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah. So say what it is. It's not for these victims of crimes or women who have not have bad circumstances where the baby's gonna have a birth defect and it might be complications during birth. That's not what you're pushing abortion for. You're pushing it
no,
so women can
yeah,
go,
yeah. They're
well,
using it as a form
I couldn't
of
get a
birth
morning after
control.
pill. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
and that's another thing. It's like you got the morning after pill, you got free birth control, you got condoms, you got all this stuff. It's like, how irresponsible do you have to be, and us as taxpayers pay for that and support that?
yeah. And I
Like,
don't know how it is
there
by
needs to be
you,
some
but out
accountability.
here, yeah, I'm sure you got Planned Parenthoods by you, right?
Yeah,
I mean, like at least I see. I'm big on there. I'm sure there is a Planned Parenthood in a upper class white neighborhood. There has to be, right? Statistically, there has to be. But I can
yeah.
tell you this: they're all over in Detroit, which is
Well, of course.
low income, poor, black, whatever. That's the population there. And people
Yeah.
say that the lady who created it was to depopulate black communities. I don't know if that's the case, but I'll tell you, it's working. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you that. I don't know if someone made that up
Well,
or if that was true, but it's working.
but is it though? Because look, like if you look, if you and I get it if it's there, it might be to like put a cap on it, But if you look at the normal household between white Americans, African Americans, Latino Americans, the white household averages maybe 1.5 kids per household.
Yeah.
You know, I think the African American households probably three, at least something like that. I mean, we'd have to look it up, but uh, I mean, we are losing the numbers game for
Oh,
sure.
100%. Well,
Like I
who's
know,
not losing the Muslim? I just ruined it. Who's not losing the numbers game is Muslims.
yeah,
I would say that's probably the number one group of people that are not getting abortions. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
no, of course not. And then they're getting government assistance to help raise their children.
Sure. Yeah, see, but me, I'm a firm believer on like it's my mess. I'm gonna get myself out of it, right? So I would say I'm too proud for it, is really what it came down to. Now, if I had no other options, then like welfare and assistance is it is what it is. But for me, it's like I got myself into this, so I'm gonna go ahead and figure that out. And that means if I need 3 jobs to figure it out, that's what I'm gonna do. Bro, at one point when I bought my first house, I was 20, what, 23 when I got my first
Mm.
house, right? And I mean, there was one point there, dude, where I was so broke, I was eating a cup of rice every day for dinner, like no breakfast, no lunch, and a cup of rice for dinner for like months on end.
Mm.
Where and I would say I probably lost about 40 pounds, 35, 40 pounds during that time. But I mean, that was because I was broke. But like I had to make
Yeah.
sure that, my kid, that was, I only had the one kid at that time, but I had to make sure that he had food, that his mom had food, and that the lights were, the bills were paid. There was nothing else left. So I, started working multiple jobs and I'm eating a cup of rice a day and I got through it, but I'm not one for handouts. Like this is my doing. I'm going to figure it out, and again, if I didn't have a choice, the sad part is though, like I know people that like situations that came about where people like actually needed assistance and couldn't get it. But then I
Yeah.
know a lot of people that are on it that don't need it, but they just, to them it's free money, which is a sad thing
Yeah.
too,
Free
you
money.
know?
Yeah. There ain't no such thing
Yeah.
as free money.
No, someone's got to flip the bill. Someone's flipping that bill,
Yeah.
which is taxes and whatever else, but I don't know, man. It's the world's just getting weirder and weirder. It's getting worse and worse daily. Every night I pray and I tell God I need you more today than I did yesterday. And not because nothing changed. It's just like the world's just every day it's got to get worse, right? It has to. I don't think, and that's what goes back to like my mom gets on that Trump stuff. And I'm like, show me in the Bible, show me who's the guy that shows up and just fixes everything. There isn't one. Okay. Now tell me more about what Trump did today. Show me,
Mm.
just show me one time, and I'm not saying you can't do, things that help and whatever else. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying when you idolize these people and you put them before God, you know what I'm saying? I
Mm.
mean,
Yeah.
which is what most people are doing, right? It's like
Yeah.
politics became their religion. And are you
Yeah.
still driving, or what do you got going on?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm driving.
Oh, well, how late you got to work tonight?
I'll be home in probably an hour and a half, something like that.
Oh, dang. You do 7 days?
Yeah, bro. Do what?
You do 7 days or what?
No, I do. Most of the time, I do 5 or 6. I at least,
Yeah.
I mean, I have to take about a day off just so my clock will reset. I only get 70 hours of drive or on duty time
Okay.
a week. I usually do
Only
between
70
50 and
hours a week.
60. You only say you only get 70 hours a week, so I got to
I
take a
feel it,
day
man.
off sometime.
Yeah, no, I feel it. That's how,
That's
we've
great.
been
That's crazy.
as
Ain't it? I only
America.
get 70 hours I can work. Hell, I need
I
about
was like, hey,
120.
you ain't lying. Yeah, every day, life is just it beats you down every day. That's how it is at my job. I mean, I do good at whatever. I work a lot, but dude, my car, I pay about $400 a week in gas.
Oh
Like
Lord, man, God bless you.
it, it ain't no joke. Now I'll give you my finances, right? Whatever, a 7 day week, I'm bringing home like 1950, and that's after my car payment, right? I got this employee lease program, crap, whatever. This string will cost me
Yeah,
like 110 bucks a week. So on a
yeah,
7 day week without any like extra overtime, just doing straight eights, I still bring home like 1950, right on 7 days, which is good
that ain't
money. It's
bad.
great money. It's most money I've ever made without killing myself.
Yeah,
I made more, but I mean there was a lot more hours involved than what I'm currently doing. But like
yeah.
I do good. But dude, I'm paying about 400 bucks a week in gas, and then you got
So you,
like it ain't no joke. And so,
yeah.
like, that's the thing. You see these videos where people talk about they've never made this much money in their life and they're still poor. I'm like, I get it.
Oh, dude.
I mean, I get it. There's a little meat on the bone after all said and done, but I also don't live a luxurious lifestyle. We don't take
Yeah, man.
fancy trips. I've never been to Disney. We don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
That's like I make let's see, after tax and everything comes out of my pay, I bring home about, let's see, my last paycheck was 1,600 and something. That was
Hmm.
6 days. Um, but I mean, I'm kind of like you. It's like, which I don't have to pay. I don't live that far from work either, but um, you know, it's like this is the most money I've ever made, and I've got to get caught up on some bills and stuff. But it's like,
Yeah.
man, I figured I'd be coming up a lot faster, but I mean, the
Oh,
dollar just don't
dude, that's
stretch like it
COVID though.
used to, bro.
No, it does
Yeah.
not. No, it does not. No, it does not, dude. It doesn't at all. And that's the crazy thing is
Mm-mm.
like, but you know what's sad to me about this whole thing is, like as much as I mean, I get by, but and it's not, I'm not bragging. I get by, um, but at the end of the week, there's not much left. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There ain't a whole lot of meat left. I mean, I got child support payments. My kid's into bowling, so he's got his lessons. He's on a league. I pay for all
Mhm.
things involved with the kids. So, I mean, between my kids bowling and child support, I mean, I'm paying like 300 a week, right? Gas costs me about 400 a week.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm 700, I'm 750 a week in between gas, child support, and his bowling. And I still got two other
Yeah.
kids. I got a kid in private school. Like I got those
Mm.
payments. You know what I'm saying? My other kid goes to a tutor every Tuesday. So I got his tutor bill. Um,
Yeah.
I still got to feed these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I got these animals. Like that's my hobby, right? It's like the animal stuff, and so I get a
Yeah.
$500 electric bill every month. I mean, like we don't do. I've again never been to Disney. We don't take
Yeah.
fancy trips. We don't. None of that happens. Um, I dude, but it don't go far. But you know what's
And
sad to me is there's people making nowhere near what I'm making, living,
yeah,
and they're going through the same exact thing, except for I don't know how the hell they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
dude,
the answer is they're not, right? That's how they're doing it. They're not.
I know. I
They're
mean, it's
struggling real
like
bad.
you make me and you both make good money, right?
Yeah.
Like, I guess the best money I've ever
I think
made.
hourly I think I'm at like 39 and some change is what I think that the end number ends up being, which is still it's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's
That's astronomical to me. That's way too much money for
yeah.
to be paid for what I'm doing. Uh,
I mean, that's
if
great money.
I was the big three, I would have walked away from the UAW a long time ago. I'll tell you that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how they do
Yeah,
this. I don't
yeah.
know.
I
It
mean,
doesn't
you
seem
like,
like a feasible business model.
does your wife work?
Not totally. So when I got picked back up, right? Like I got my uncle shut down like 2 months later. I got picked up 3 months later. Well, yeah. So he shut down in October, and then I went back to work in like January 20th. So from October to January, she didn't work at all, right? And I told her because I got friends that have stay-at-home wives, right? But you have to bring your
Yeah,
lifestyle down a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like we might have to get rid of some of these animals because the $500 electric bill is insane. I
yeah,
understand that, but that's my only thing I got is the animals. That's like when life's beating me down, dude. I go down there and I hang out with these little dinosaur things, and that's what kind of just gets me. This the only thing that hasn't screwed me over in life is my lizards. That's it. Like, eventually my kids
yeah,
are gonna screw me over. They're gonna let me down. The lizards don't, and that's kind of my little peace thing. I used to read the Bible. Now I
yeah,
just read the Bible in bed, but I used to sit. I had a chair in there to sit there and read the Bible and just hang out with the animals. But I haven't done that in a minute. But yeah, I mean, dude. Again, there's just people, and again, that's why I go back to no matter what happens to me in life, someone else has a way worse, dude. It's so like whatever I'm going through, it's gonna pass, and I'm gonna figure it out because that's
yeah,
what I do. And and my problem is I don't give God enough credit for it, right? Because even me saying that, like I know that it's not me doing it; it's God allowing it to happen. Because if He didn't want it to happen, He's gonna shut that down too. So it's not essentially through me. It's God allowing doors to remain open for me for a season or a time, and allowing me to do what I need to do in that time frame to make the best I can out of a situation. But it don't. Like I said, man, I just feel bad for people. Like, I don't know how people that are pushing carts at like Walmart are doing it. I don't. I have no idea what they're doing. And I feel bad for that, and I pray about that. That I mean, how do you fix that? How do you pray for God to make everyone's life easier, right? And
Well,
it's like,
and the thing is,
you know,
sometimes, you know, and I don't want to make this sound like, uh, you know, oh, life's life. Like, there's good and bad in life, regardless. But
yeah,
also, the Lord, and that's the thing. Like, a lot of people look at the Bible like, oh, God just doesn't want us to have fun, or He's just a lawmaker and just looking over us, just waiting to crush us when we mess up. It's like, no, that's not how God operates. God is a father. He's a loving father. Just like how you would warn your kid not to play in the street because they might get hit by a car. It's not because you don't want them to have fun to play in the street. It's because you don't want them to get hit by the car. So
yeah,
when God's giving you commandments and ways to live life, it's for you to have a prosperous, thriving life. It's not
sure,
to like hold anything back from you. It's so you can have a fulfilling life. And when you operate outside of that, not saying you can't make money or have material things and stuff like that, but it's going to be empty. And then if you live a life that's and you can even live a life, following the commandments and stuff, and just have a real simple life and not have a whole lot, but your needs are going to be met. You know,
yeah,
so when you operate outside of that, like for me, if for an example, when I was living in drug addiction or just being a heathen, yeah, I could pay my bills. I mean, I didn't have a lot of money. I was focused on, but I wasn't being a good steward of what God was giving me. I was
sure,
wasting my extra funds on drugs or alcohol or useless things. So yeah, of course I was struggling. I wasn't being a good steward of the blessings God was giving me, like He's told us to do. If I was living a
sure,
clean life, instead of spending money on alcohol, $150 a week, and then another 200 on cigarettes and another 100 on a bag of dope, maybe
yeah.
I'd have been a little further in life if I was actually thinking about things, but
Do you give everything up?
so, yeah, yeah, I don't I do vape.
Okay,
um I'm trying to get off that, but
sure,
um yeah, man, I don't drink. And let me clarify on that. Like, I
completely.
don't. I I'm that's where I'm
I'm
at
not trying
now.
to call. I'm
Like,
not trying
I
to call
think,
you out on it. I'm just asking.
yeah, like, I don't. I used to, like, I'd have a beer here and there, but I'm to the point now. Like, I don't condemn anybody if they have a beer at
Sure.
dinner or a glass of wine or something. But for me, I can't do that because it makes me feel like crap. So,
Okay.
and I don't even desire it now. But I used to be, man, before I was, by the time I was 21, I was tired of drinking. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't
No,
care
I'm with
anything
you. I was
about it
there
because
too. Yeah.
yeah,
That's
because I've been
yeah, dude.
drinking since I was 14. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's where I'm at.
So
13, 14, man. Yeah. No, I was a pop off and Nikolai kind of guy myself. That's what I started with. But
yeah,
that was the cheap stuff, right? I didn't have a job, so I couldn't afford it. It was just, using my lunch money to buy, whatever, stealing it from the, liquor stores, basically. But yeah, no, I
yeah.
burnt
So I
my stuff
mean,
out by like 21. Yeah, I was done.
and and honestly, like, I see 100% why the Bible says not to be a drunkard and to stay away from strong drink. And it's because it brings the devil out of you,
Sure.
right? Like, I've been high as a kite, on pills, on meth, on coke, on weed, on all different kind of things. And yeah, sometimes the pills and meth made me act a little crazy, but nothing has ever made me more destructive than alcohol. Like,
Yeah.
toward myself and others around me.
Sure.
Um, and it just it it just led to a cycle. Like I get drunk because I'm feeling down about I'm not happy with myself, right? Uh, or whatever. So I drink because it's a habit. It's something I'm used to doing. Then I'm in this headspace. It's not healthy for me or anyone around me. I get into it with loved ones. I say things I don't mean. I tear stuff up. I go to jail. I make all these bad decisions, and then I'm sober the next day or the next
Yeah.
week or whatever. And now I'm
Still in
now
jail.
I'm thinking about all the yeah now I'm thinking about all these mistakes I made, and it just piles
Yeah.
on top of the crappy feeling I'm feeling about myself and mistakes I made. So hell, I'll just go get a drink. Let me go get a case of beer, down a couple of those, and for the first couple of hours, I'm good. I'm in a good mood.
Uh-huh.
But once I cross that line, it's like, oh well, it's time to raise some hell, and it's just a
Yeah.
sick cycle. And it's like, nah, I just can't keep doing this. I'm either gonna kill myself, end up in prison, or
Yeah.
just be a loser and alone and hate my life because I
Yeah.
destroyed it.
Hmm.
You know, and so
Yeah,
I
I'm the
had
same
to
boat.
had to get
All
away
I
from
got
it.
left is all I got left is cigarettes, man. Booze is done. Uh, I will say this: we go camping like once or twice a year, and when I
Yeah.
get around a bonfire, there is usually alcohol involved.
It's hard
I will
not
say
to, ain't
that.
it?
Yeah, I mean,
It's hard not to.
and I mean, I'll go through. I will go through. Like we're going up there. What, July 23rd to the 28th? We're going. She's like a friend of her family. Has a cabin, and we go up there usually like a weekend or two a year. But we're taking it for like a week this year. There's gonna be some alcohol involved. So I'm gonna be honest with you. It is what it is. That's just Um, and but other than that, if when we go up there, that'll be the only time I'm drinking. Uh, like I would say the last time I drank was whenever we went there last year. Right, when we went there for like 2 3 days last year at one point, and
Yeah.
I'm sure I would have drank there, but since then, I mean that's the only time I ever drank. And not to say that that's good. I probably shouldn't be doing it at all, but I don't need it to get through my day to day, which is crazy because I work with people that they can't function unless they're obliterated, you know,
Man, isn't that
and
wild?
I'm
Like I
yeah,
I know people that I mean I've that wake up and they might have a cup of coffee or a glass of tea and have their morning cigarette and stuff, and then after that they might eat them some breakfast, but then after that it's nothing but straight beer and or whiskey or mixed drinks until their eyes start locking up on them and they gotta go to bed.
yeah,
And they repeat it the
yeah,
next day. It's like, well, man,
yeah. I mean, when I was younger, I did that, but I haven't
yeah,
at this point. Like I said, my only thing is cigarettes. That's the only thing that's kind of holding me back at this point. Which I plan on giving that up. Don't know when. I thought I was going to a couple weeks ago, and I made it through the night, and then I made it through most of the morning, and then I just went and got a pack of cigarettes because I'm like, just in case I need one at work. And then that turned into I went through that pack, and I just didn't stop again. And I'm like, there you go, let
yeah.
myself down again. Thought I was done,
Have you tried
And
alternatives like the pouches or something?
yeah, I mean, they taste like a hospital to me. They taste
Yeah,
like they taste like they're just sterile. Like it has a very sterile flavor to it, and it's weird to me.
y-
I've
yeah,
I've done okay. Just for me, there's no weaning off for anything I've ever done. I just had to put it down, right? Because if I
you got
don't,
a cold turkey it.
it yeah, I got a cold turkey it every time, bro. I went through the patches. Like I mean, they say like, oh, put it on your left arm or whatever, like by your wrist because you don't want it by your heart. I was shaving my chest and putting two of them on my right there. Boom. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, and I still got one on my arm. And like
Yeah,
it was unreal. That's like my wife. Like, she gets weird about like Tylenol. Even earlier, she had a headache. She took some Tylenol and she got home and she she's like, how many of these can I take? I'm like, listen, I've taken so many pills in my lifetime. Like I can take that whole bottle and I'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? I'm good.
Yeah.
Like my body's been through some stuff, dude. I don't know. I'm like, how? She's like, it's been like 4 hours. I'm like, you're good. She's like, well, what? I'm like, listen, you're fine. It's Tylenol. You're fine. It's not, dude. You know how many
Yeah.
oxys I've taken at a time before and still made it through? Like, you're good. Those are Tylenols. You're all right.
Oh
You know what
man,
I'm
bro,
saying?
let me tell you. The other day, okay, I've been off like I was hooked on pain pills and stuff for
Yeah.
a long time. I was on. You ever heard of Subutex?
No.
It's like Suboxone. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, and I was getting three of those. I was getting like 90 of those a month.
Okay.
Most people only get like maybe 30 or 60. So I was taking
Hmm.
three of those a day. I was snorting them, right? Well,
Yeah.
it took me over 2 years to get off those, weaning myself off, and I hadn't
Okay.
been on pain pills for a few years now, right?
Okay.
I got to my limit. I wanted to be sober. Well,
Yeah.
I went to the dentist the other day and had a tooth pulled. My dentist gave me four 7.5 Narcos,
Hmm.
like lower tabs,
Yeah.
and dude, like I took them in halves, right? Because I don't really want to take nothing, but he give them to me. I took them, helped me sleep. Had a tooth pulled,
Yeah.
whatever. Man, them things had me so drowsy. It was
Yeah.
like I'd never taken a pill for in my life. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, wow, I was taking handfuls of tens of these. What? I was taking
Yeah.
10 or 20 of these a day.
Yeah.
The 10 milligram. It's like, man, how am I alive right now? you
Yeah,
know,
that's what I tell
but
her about. That's what I tell her. I'm like, dude, you're fine. Don't even question it. Worst
yeah,
case scenario, your headache's gonna go away faster. Okay, that's it. Like
yeah,
that's all. But I'll get back into her stuff. So, like the working thing. So I told her to do the stay-at-home mom thing because she's been working. She worked a lot. Like she worked for my uncle, and she was doing 10-hour days, 12-hour days, 14-hour days for a long time. And she's not
yeah,
afraid to work. And I told her like, just take some time off, man. You worked a lot, right? Like I'll get down and dirty. I'll work some overtime, and whatever. Like we'll get through it. Don't worry about it. And she did it for like a
yeah,
month, or well, she did it. I was working for about a month, and she's finally like, I can't do this anymore. I can't just stay home. I'm like, okay. So now she does this home health aid stuff where she just helps old people, right? And she does that
okay,
here and there. She don't make enough to cover what she's doing at all. And some days it's like she's
yeah,
tying up her whole day for 3 hours. Like it's like an hour in the morning, and then she goes and picks these people up and takes them somewhere, and then she's got to wait 3 hours and picks them up, and then she sits with them for an hour, and then but the day's gone. Like you burnt up an 8 hour day and you worked for 3 hours. Like
yeah,
you ain't making enough money to cover. So like she's doing that. I'm still paying the car payment, the car insurance. What I'm saying? She's not
yeah,
making enough to cover her own stuff. The stuff she needs to do it, which is her car. Like she doesn't make enough to cover that. But I mean,
yeah,
she wants to get out of the house and feel like she's doing something, and that's fine. You know, uh, yeah, I keep telling her, you just put miles on your car at this point. Like, and she's like, I can't stay home. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just saying, all right, do what you gotta do. I'm just letting you know you're tearing your
yeah,
car up. What I'm saying? That's all I can do. I just gotta let you know. Like they say, like I can't, I can't make you believe in Jesus. I'm just gonna let you know that He's coming. So, like, I gotta
yeah.
tell you that I can't, I can't, I can
Does
lead you to the water, but I can't make you drink it.
is she does she is she a believer?
Yeah, she's I mean, we're on two different levels, you
Yeah,
know. And I'm not trying to say I mean I think I'm more involved
yeah,
as far as belief goes, and I feel like she falls under the category of a once saved always saved, not really sure. But I would
yeah,
say that. Um but coming from a family of atheists, I mean, she's doing better than any of the other ones have. So I think for her, I think baby steps might be the thing. And maybe
yeah,
she doesn't. I mean, what's the wrong answer, right? It's her own journey. Does she
yeah,
believe it all? Yeah, she believes it. Does she? I swear a lot. I swear really bad. That's swearing is something I've been praying about. Uh, getting rid of. I'm horrible, dude. I'm really bad. And it's
Yeah.
just, it's just I just use them like verbs and adjectives and all types of stuff. That's it. It's just, like nothing. And don't like it's just wild, like people call me and they're somewhere and they got me on speakerphone and then they're yelling at me because they're on speakerphone. I'm like, that's on you. Listen, you called me and put me on speakerphone. That's your problem. Don't ask
You
me a
know how I
question and have me
talk?
on speakerphone. Huh?
It's
Yeah,
like,
that's
you
what I
know
tell
how I
them. Yeah.
talk?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's not something to be proud of. I didn't have role models, man. And when you're young, you start swearing because you think it makes you look cool. And then I just carried that through life and I sound horrible when I talk. I mean, I try to do good on the lives and stuff like that. I try to bite my tongue on a lot of stuff or, just tone it down. But when I'm just free talking, man, it's nasty. And I'm not proud of it. Um,
Yeah.
but it is what it is. But I've been talking to her about that I really want to get off swearing. And she'll swear. She's nowhere near as bad as I'm at by any means. But I told her like I really want
Yeah.
us both to be done. Like that's something but it's a hard one. And as stupid as that sounds, that is a hard one. I don't think it's
It
as hard
is,
as quitting
dude.
smoking,
That's
but
not
it's up there.
that, that's not stupid at all, man. It's something that I think a lot of people um don't pay enough attention to, right?
Hmm.
I have had that issue too, man. Look, I'm a truck driver, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, I can let it fly with the best of them, but really, like I try not to now. I have my
Sure.
days, but for the most part, I'm pretty clean speaking, right? But
Yeah.
um, it I have to be try to be conscious of of what I'm saying, right, and not just be on
Hmm.
autopilot. Um, or I'll fall back into it. You know what I mean? It's easy to do. Um, but I also something I realized is, and it's kind of like with scripture. It says, "Let your mind be renewed, or let your heart and your mind be renewed by the scriptures." What you allow to come into you eventually will come out, right?
Yeah.
So if you're like, I don't know what you watch on TV or what you listen to or like conversations you have
Yeah.
with people, but if you surround yourself with a bunch of stuff like a bunch of hip hop music, or it ain't even gotta be hip hop, it can just be anything vulgar, that's not wholesome. If you're consuming that, well, that's
Sure.
eventually gonna be what comes out of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I try to. Not, I'm not perfect at it. I still watch things that I shouldn't. But I try to consume that kind of stuff less and less, and least as possible, and
Hmm.
and and really have like clean things coming in. That way, that's kind of what comes out. When something comes to my mind, it's not going to be something automatically vulgar. Because that hasn't
Yeah.
been what I've been listening to, and fresh on my mind. But
Yeah.
that helps me if that's something you're trying to get to.
Yeah.
Oh, T Rex got in here, man.
I
What
was
what
in
did he
there.
say?
Let's see.
Yeah, what did he say?
Uh,
I can't read it right now.
Hang on. I don't have my thing on. I gotta figure this out.
Oh, it says non-believers, agnostics, atheists. It's all just Satanism. Amen. That's true. We can't see gravity, and we can't see wind, but we know that they exist, and so does God. Amen on that. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. My wife said she's like, yeah, I guess, but good luck with that because you're bad. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So she's like, what's your plan? I was thinking about just quitting talking for a while. You
Hey,
know,
that might
I,
work.
I was being honest too. I was thinking if I don't talk, then I can't swear. So the problem is, when someone calls me with some wildness, and I'm just like, oh my god, oh, that's
Yeah.
the devil. That's the devil. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
like
Like that's it. Yeah.
and and my wife, like, she can have a mouth on her too, if I'm being honest. But uh oh, like you having to use vulgar language, um, it makes you seem less intelligent,
Sure.
right?
Oh, I'm sure I don't sound
And
smart. I know
well, I mean, it's like just filler words most of the time,
that. Sure.
Um, but if you really try to stop and think about the words you're speaking, what you're saying, um, it'll help. If you just and just something to practice on, and eventually, if you're really trying to get away from that kind of speech, it'll that kind of stuff will help.
Yeah, that's and
But
there's a few things, right? And there's a million different things for me, right? Like even as far as some, and my thing, there's a million reasons why I do what I do, and half the stuff I don't even know why I'm doing it, right?
yeah,
And like the idea on fasting, and it's like, and people say, well, if that's what God's telling you to do, and I'm like, I don't know if God's telling me to do it, but I'm fat, bro. So like, it's not me saying I shouldn't be eating for the next 40 days, because like I would
yeah,
much rather just go eat everything that I can.
yeah.
I'm like 5'8", 250. I mean, I've been over 200 pounds since probably fifth grade. Then when I
Oh,
went to
you a
the
big
rice thing,
boy.
is probably, yeah. Well, yeah, I've always been a chunk, man. But I've probably during that rice thing was probably the last time I was under 200 pounds. Um,
Mm,
when I used to work at my uncle's, there was a lot. Before I started the Chrysler stuff, there was a lot of running and whatever, and I stayed around like 210, 2.5, 210. I'm fine with that. That nothing hurts, right? I feel like I could breathe fine. Like I'm just cool around the 205, 210. This 250 stuff's outrageous. You know what I'm saying? I got to get off that. Uh,
yeah,
you know what I'm
this is
saying?
outrageous.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's spades a
I gotta
spade,
get I
man.
gotta
You
get a
gotta,
wrap on this thing. This is
yeah, you
this
ain't
is
lying. Hey,
ridiculous.
I'm trying to tell
I'm
you.
way too
That's
big
like
right
people
now.
at work. People at work, they there's days where it's in my plant's air conditioned, right? Now, not to like where you would think it's air conditioned, like it's not like a house, but I mean it's significantly cooler in there because all the robots. But like there's times where I'm just
Let's
working and
see. I'm just trying to read T Rex's comment, man. I'm sorry. I'm
all
listening to
right,
you. I talk bad with the fellas at work sometimes. Uh,
you
it's
say it's
worldly. Yeah, can you read that? Can you see it?
yeah, it says whirly and I work on it. Really try not talking at all sometimes. I'm telling you, that's what I'm going for. I haven't tried it yet, but I guess I have. And when I do, it's like the beginning of the day, and people say like, "You all right? You all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." But I don't want to tell people because I feel like when I tell people that, it makes it. I don't want to say. I don't blame stuff on the devil, right? I don't know if I believe that anything negative that happens in life is Satan doing it. I think it's just
A
lifing
lot of it's
a lot of
us.
times. I think that
Yeah.
I think it's just life and man. Like I said, my friend that works that like where I use the friend word loosely, right? Probably shouldn't, but the guy I know that lives in his car. His whole situation
Hmm.
is it's him and he's got 6 kids with the same chick. They split up, or they split up. She left, came back a year later, and with her 2 brothers, said, "I'm taking the kids." He said, "You ain't taking nothing." So he fought all 3 of them, including his ex, right? So he fought all 3 of them. Cops showed up. He went to jail, and he's been dealing with some wild stuff ever since, right? And this is just bad life choices. You had 6 kids with a chick you probably never should have been with, right?
Mm,
And it's just a downhill spiral. And he's black. At least
mm.
out here, it seems like the black dudes get removed from the households. That's just how life works. I don't know if that's the case or it just seems to be the case where I feel like the system's kind of, I feel like the system's written to remove men from the household to kind of make life a little chaotic for everyone involved. Um,
Well, yeah,
I feel like that's
you
how,
remove the man from the household. You remove the structure, and even more importantly, the spiritual leader supposed to be the spiritual leader of the household.
yeah,
So right? Because the man's supposed to be submissive to Christ. Christ is supposed to be the head of the man. Man's supposed to be head of the woman, and through that line of authority, and you lose the structure of the household, right? So now the kids don't have any. Well, the wife doesn't have a leader or a spiritual leader like they're supposed to, and now the kids are missing out on that structure and that leadership too, and it
Yeah,
just, yeah, it's terrible.
yeah. He's and I mean, like he's got six of them, dude. Six has got it. Three is outlandish. Again, three is a lot. And I tell people that when they have their first kid, and I'm like, and they're talking about how hard it is. I'm like, hard, bro. Then they have their second one. I'm like, oh, it's about to get interesting. By the third one, it's unrealistic and like, good luck. You know what I'm saying? Like, how am I supposed to be three places at once? And then, like, at some point, my wife wants me to talk to her. Okay, I'll figure. There's not enough time, and there's only 24 hours a day, and there's four of you.
Yeah,
Like, how am I
and
supposed to do this?
I'm working 20 of them, so
Yeah. Oh, that's every day. When
yeah.
my kids are here now, right? The boys come over on the weekends, and it's like every day they're like, "You working today?" I'm like, "Yeah." Every morning, "You working today?" "Yep." I'll catch you guys at like
Be
12:35.
fruitful and multiply. That's
Yeah, there
right.
you
Be
go.
fruitful and
Well,
multiply.
you know what?
Yeah.
I feel like the dollar went a lot further when he said that, though. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I
and
think he
plus,
might be.
you know,
I think he would
I
talk
had I
differently
had
today.
this I had this talk with a coworker of mine years ago. We were building furniture together, and he had um I think he had uh 3 kids or 3 or 4 kids, something like that. I can't remember. And him and his wife both worked. And this is a good dude, hard worker, worked overtime anytime he could, and just talking about like money and stuff. And it's hard for me to relate because I don't have kids. But what I can see with a lot of the struggles within households, and this is with or without kids, but especially
Yeah,
with kids, right? Um, we use this excuse that we want our kids to have better than we did, right? Which I think, in
sure.
a sense, is true, right? Like my parents did the
Hmm.
same for me, but when you have to buy $100 shirts and $200 pairs of shoes and $90 pants so they can dress like that every day of the week,
Yeah.
and so they can fit in with the cool kids, and because that's kind of what you want, right? But it's not. It's kind of disingenuous because it's not necessarily just for the kids. It's also for yourself because they represent you, right?
Hmm.
So what's more loving? Is it more loving to work yourself to death and spend your time away from home so you can buy your kids $200 pairs of shoes and a $500 PlayStation so they can fit in with other kids at school?
Yeah.
Or is it more loving to go to the thrift store, spend $10 on a decent outfit, they look nice, but you have more time
Mm.
at home to help them build character?
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No,
So,
I'm with you, and I got my 13-year-old's right here, and I mean he could say the same stuff. The hoodie he's wearing right now, I paid $3 for it today. But I got a
hey, there
place
you
by
go.
me. Do you guys have Dick's Sporting Goods by you? I don't know if
Yeah,
that's
we
just
do.
like okay. So there is a outlet here called Going Gone, which is
Mm,
it's a Dick's Sporting Goods clearance outlet. So it's everything that they're discontinuing at Dick's goes there, right? So everything we wear pretty much comes out of that store. Like he's got
yeah.
this hoodie on that was $3. I bought,
See, that's
all my
that's cool.
shoes come from there. I pretty much everything I own comes from there.
Yeah.
But I gotta, even though I do okay, my money's got to stretch.
You
I
know,
can't afford just to go and waste stuff on whatever.
you asked me about holidays, right? And I
Yeah.
told you I was kind of, let's see, work 3 jobs, 1 job per kid. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, uh, well, you asked me about holidays, and
Hmm.
and this kind of ties together with the principle behind it, right? Of what I
Yeah.
just said about the parents and kids and clothes and all that stuff. Well, my issue with Christmas is the average American, even self-professing Christian, right? We celebrate
Yeah.
we celebrate Christmas and we say it's in
Yeah,
Jesus' name to celebrate his birth.
sure.
But the whole practice of Christmas is some of the furthest thing from biblical teaching and beliefs than that. I mean, you can get, in my opinion. And what I mean,
Sure.
you have this holiday where parents will go into to give their kids gifts, and when they're children, they lie to them about where they come from.
Let me see your glasses real
Which I get it.
quick.
I love Christmas as a kid. I mean, I get it, but and and then what your kids do is what we do as
Huh?
kids. Then we go to other kids and we compare what we have, what we got, um,
Tax grab?
and we kind of we, yeah, and then we kind of we place our worth in society on these material things, right? And it starts
Yeah.
young, like through Christmas, and
Oh, dude, I'm guilty of it.
really,
Here, let me give you a rundown real quick while you're talking. Check this out. So my 13-year-old, what's up? So here we go.
yeah,
Right? He's got Jordans. He's got
yeah,
Nike pants on. This is his $3 hoodie.
yep,
Let me see your glasses, sir.
yep.
These are his $400 Nike glasses. What's up? But they come with a swoosh, so that means they're important. And I get it. Yeah, no, I know. Hey, listen, I've been telling these kids forever. Like, yeah, I know they get to a point where I'm sure they want me around more. Well, at this point, he just turned 13, so I think he's happy that I'm not around, right? Because whatever, he's a teenager now. But
Yeah,
years ago, I told them, they would talk about me working too much or working all the time. And I tell them, like, if you guys would want less stuff, I could work less. But as long as you guys keep
yeah,
needing everything that ever existed, like, I'm not gonna see you. Like, we could do it if you want it that bad. I'll get it for you. Yeah, I mean, they're good enough kids, but at the same time, like, if as long as you keep needing stuff, you're not gonna see me. And then they're like, yeah, well,
yeah,
this, the PS5 just dropped. I'm like, all right, well, I'll, catch you next month or something, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It is what it is. We'll
And
figure
see,
it
and I
out.
mean, and like, and what, and we do it ourselves, and we raise our kids in the same mindset that it it puts us in classes, right, in society. Like,
Yeah,
if your
sure.
parents can afford you the new PlayStation and the new shoes and the new fit and all that stuff, well, now you're going to be clicked up with the cool kids in school. You're going to be in that group, right?
Yeah.
And we teach our kids to value themselves off of the materials they can obtain,
T Rex.
right?
Yeah, that's what he said. So that means that he needs new shoes. T Rex. That's what that means. I think it's dumb. T Rex
Instead
said he heard him
of
say his shoes don't fit.
instead of if you're gonna do it in the name of Christ, like at Christmas, instead of instead of exchanging gifts with people who already have too much, right? We got so much stuff. We have closets and stuff where we have to sit there for 30 minutes in the morning and decide what we're gonna wear, right?
Sure.
Um, Instead of doing that, it's like, okay, if you want to do this in the name of Christ and in the spirit of Christ and in celebrating His birth,
Yeah.
let's go. Pick something you want or you need. We'll get you one gift or a couple, whatever. But with that excess money that I would have spent on you that already has plenty, let's use that. And let me show you what being like a Christian is. Let's go to some orphans that really need, and let's spend that money blessing others because we've been blessed.
Yeah.
Um, and that hit me one night. I was praying. I was sitting on my bed and I'm looking in my closet, right? And I'm the type of
Yeah.
person, man. I got shirts I had 20 years ago, right?
Hmm.
And but I'm looking and I'm like, man, I got multiple shirts here. I got multiple, a couple pairs of boots. Man, I'm so blessed. And I was thinking about Christmas, and I'm like, I kind of started crying a little bit because I was thinking about the state of my brothers and sisters in the churches and the congregations, and how we're doing this celebration in Jesus' name, and it's all out of selfishness, right? It's not really loving to carry about that way. In my opinion, that's how it hit me. And it's like, man, I've been doing this all wrong, right? I'm buying people stuff who, I mean, they got everything they need. Well, what more could they need? And then,
Yeah.
and we're all doing this stuff, and it kind of opened my eyes to that. So anyway, I went off
What
on a little
percentage
tangent
of the
there,
world
but
though? No, yeah, but what's the percentage that you think of people that are actually doing it the way that we should be doing it, like you just said, right?
well, I mean, none of
Zero?
us, I
That's what I'm
mean, there's
saying.
very few people, you know what I mean? But I mean, that's the problem,
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
that's,
I'm with you 100%.
yeah,
I
yeah, and,
yeah, I'm with it. Yeah. And you know what? I've never thought about that. And that's why I enjoy these live streams, right? Because I feel like you can interact and by going on here, just like hearing people talk. I don't know. I feel like I just know people more. Like, I think King's dope, film's dope, right? Everyone's got their own opinion. Even though I disagree with a lot of the stuff people say, it's like I still I like it more than just watching just a random person or whatever, right? Like, I don't know. I just feel like interacting makes it more personable or something. And but I haven't thought about that. You know what I'm saying? I never thought about that. There's a lot of stuff I don't think about. And that,
oh
the
yeah,
last
me
time I was
too.
fasting, I quit fasting the last time because I watched a video and the guy said, like, instead, so since you're fasting now or whatever, like, he goes, if you were eating breakfast for 30 minutes in the morning, let's say, he goes, so now are you reading your Bible every morning for 30 minutes? And the answer is no, I'm not. And then he's like,
Mm,
what about lunchtime? I'm like, nope. Dinner, nope.
hmm.
And I'm like, okay, so this was all for nothing. So I stopped. So I'm like, this is invalid to me at this point. Like, at this point, I'm
Oh
just not
man,
eating. So,
yeah,
now it's like let me redo this again. And now I gotta start reading the Bible when I would have been eating. But I think that's more respectable. Where I'm not just sitting here like trying to, smoking a million cigarettes trying to get through my day real quick. It's like, no, you should be
I'm gonna
you should
make
be
it. I'm gonna
doing
make it
stuff.
through this day. I'm gonna make it through this day.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
I think all my I only did three, but I think none of them counted for nothing. I felt like they were all invalid, and that's why I give up on them because I'm not doing it right. And the same thing, I don't remember who I was talking to on one of the discords, but he was like, I told him, he asked me about it, and I told him I gave up everything, and he's like, I don't know, man. God just told me you didn't give up everything. What didn't you give up? And I was like, cigarettes. So he said, he goes, yeah, then it didn't count. I'm like, that's what I'm saying. It didn't even count. Because to me, my thing is
Mhm.
cigarettes. I'm 250, bro. I can go without food for a minute. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because people ask me, like, do you think you can go 40 days? I'm like, if I had enough cigarettes, 100%, 100%.
Yeah.
So to me, cigarettes is more important than food.
Mm.
And cigarettes is also clearly because when I'm fasting, I'm not having sex with my wife. So
Mm.
cigarettes is more important than that too. Clearly, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the math.
Yeah.
I would tell you it's not, but the math is there. Where the only thing I
Yeah.
wasn't giving up was cigarettes, and that's probably the only thing I need to really be giving up. You know, in all honesty, I mean, I need to give up the other stuff too, but cigarettes is probably the main one. I just haven't.
Like, what
I don't know.
do you get like convicted over it?
What do you mean?
Do you feel conviction?
I don't know what that means.
Conviction like a guilt, but not really a guilt, just like a conviction, a guilt's a good way to put it. Like you feel like it's something that God's telling you to do. You're getting
I don't know that
convicted over
answer.
it. Like,
That's what I said. I don't know. I mean, I'm fat, so I feel like maybe because I wouldn't be telling myself to not eat. I promise you that. I mean, and that's the
yeah.
thing. People talk about, oh, you should fast for 24 hours. I'm like, listen, man, I grew up poor and had to work my way out
Uh,
of that. I've gone 24 hours not eating because I got busy. You know what I'm saying? So a
um,
24-hour fast to me is nothing.
T Rex said, you're supposed to pray when you fast, not necessarily read the
Yeah.
Bible. Yeah, and I was gonna say something about that too. That's a good point, T Rex. Yeah, I think the point that guy was making about you reading the Bible when you would have been eating is kind of like replacing that with like the word or something, but
Sure.
um,
Yeah,
you
replacing
know,
meals with reading. Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
but
just
my
try to
problem was I
help fill that
wasn't. I
time.
Yeah, I
But
was praying
praying
a
for
lot more than
sure.
I do. Yeah, I was praying a lot more often, and I was consistently reading daily. And more. At that point, I was doing like I was doing. I didn't know how much to read, which right now I feel like I'm kind of pathetic with it, where I do like a chapter a day, sometimes two. But I think that that's weak if and people argue that, but in the grand scheme of things, if you're doing this because you believe that there was a man who was beaten and tortured and all these things for your salvation, and the best you can give him is a chapter a day, that's kind of weak in my opinion, right? And
Mm,
now maybe I'm being a
yeah.
little too hard on myself or whatever, but to me that's a little like if that's what we're doing here, so like my first time I was reading 10 pages a day. That was my thing when I first started fasting. I'll tell you this, the last time I got off, I felt like the dirtiest human I've ever felt like in my life. When I gave up on that last 4 day, once I ate, I just felt dirty. And I was like,
Mm.
maybe I was getting somewhere, but a lot of things happened,
Uh,
man. I seen some stuff when I was praying. Did I tell you about that?
no. When was this? When you were fasting?
Yeah, when I was fasting, there was one day. So I pray before I read, right? And I'll be honest with you, I probably have like a third or fourth grade reading level. Like I'm horrible. I can't read for nothing. And
Yeah.
that's another struggle I have is I just, and that's why when people are like, hey, do you want to read something? I'm like, not really. Not out loud in front of
Not
people.
really.
No, thank you. Yeah, not at all. I don't even read in front of my
Yeah.
kids, man. I'm like, listen, I'm gonna go. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, my daughter's
Yeah.
called me out for not
You're
being able to read great. So, she's
you're
7.
not you're not comfortable with it. T Rex said, how much is a pack of cigarettes these days? They were 250
Oh,
back in the
dude,
early
12
90s.
bucks.
Finna
12
say yeah,
bucks.
they're like
I
12
think I'm
bucks.
like 12 and some change. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy,
Yeah,
man.
12 and
Back
some
back
change.
when I stopped,
Oh,
they
yeah,
were
it's the
like
thing.
they're like I think they were getting like $6, something like that a pack back when I quit.
No, yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
man.
think we got Meyer out here, so I hit Meyer, but it's like 12.50 or something like that. Something around there. It's a lot, But
Okay, so
again, you just throwing it out the window is what it is. You know, can't
so
take it with you. That's what I tell people.
so did you have a vision while you were praying while you were fasting? Was it
So
like a
kind of,
vision?
sorta. I didn't know I didn't tell you this. So yeah. So all right. So before I read the Bible every night, I pray. And one of the
Yeah.
big things I pray about is I have a hard time retaining stuff. So
Yeah.
far I felt like in Ephesians, I feel like I retained that. So I don't know if my prayers, if I started praying better, is what I think about sometimes. And maybe heard me a
Mhm.
little bit better or understood what I was talking about. Daniel, I feel like I'm retaining that. I feel like I'm reading it easier. I feel like maybe it's just an easier read. I don't know. I feel like there's some stuff that's just easier to read for me, but um, so I start off just reading, or I start off praying for just that he helps me read better, retain it better, right? So that I could talk to people about them and tell the stories that I'm reading and stuff like that. Just whatever. So just little tiny prayers I start off with, and afterwards I pray. But those usually turn into more conversations and go a lot longer, right? I don't know, 5, 10,
Mhm.
20 minutes, half hour, whatever. But at one point, so after I read and all this stuff, and I'm praying, and then it kind of turns into a conversation, and my eyes are closed at this point, and these little gray circles as I'm talking, and this is while I was fasting. These little gray circles I see like pop up while my eyes are closed, and it's just naked women in all types of wild positions, right? And
Mm.
like I didn't think so, but a lot of people tell me I can't, like I don't multitask very well. I thought I was good, you know what I'm saying? But I've been told that a lot, so whatever. Like I can't or talk and work at the same time. Been told that a bunch of times. But whatever. But but dude, so I'm talking out loud, right? I'm just talking to the Lord, and these little gray circles start popping up, just like one at a time, and it's just a naked chick bent over, whatever, and then that one goes away, another one, and I'm like, what is this? right? Because I don't, man, I haven't watched porn or masturbated in probably 5-6 years, right?
Mm.
I got rid of that a while ago. And I don't do that stuff. I don't look into that stuff. I don't nothing. But here's this stuff, and I'm talking to God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's naked women popping up in my head while I'm having this conversation, and I'm just like, what is this about? And as wild as it sounds, the thing I came up with in my own head is this is probably the only time I ever kind of blamed Satan, and it was like, jokingly, right? Because I don't know what that is. Although I think it might have been him. Is
Yeah.
my reason would be like, I feel like maybe he was trying to say like, what are you doing? Right? Like you used to do stuff and you used to party and you used to be out there doing stuff with different women. And, you were like, now you're over here, you ain't eating in how many days? You're reading the Bible, you're praying all the time. What are you doing? Right? Like, and that's kind of what I felt like. I don't know if that's what I felt like in the moment, but that's kind of what I came up with afterwards. Is I wondered if that's it. Is like, hey, what are you doing here? You haven't eaten. You're reading the Bible. You're praying. What's going on? Like you're starving your flesh. You're supposed to be like enjoying the world, right? And these are the things you used
Mm.
to enjoy. And like that's kind of maybe what I think could have happened. But if someone told me something else, I might believe that too. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm not stuck on that's what it was. I know what I seen. I just don't know what that was about.
Yeah, that seems
And I know
like
it wasn't nothing I seen and was thinking about. It just popped in my head. And I could like
that's
visually see it.
that seems like an attack from the enemy for sure,
Yeah.
to try to interrupt your the connection you're trying to make with the Lord. See, when I'm and I've had wicked stuff pop in my head and my mind too, even while I'm reading scripture or I'm trying to pray, right?
Hmm.
And uh, when uh, when I get wrapped up in something like that, because once you have like a thought like that actually penetrates, or a fiery dart from the enemy, I like to call it.
Hmm.
Well, then you get stuck in like that thinking loop, like, man, where did that come from? Is that what is it? Now you're totally sidetracked from focusing on God and thinking about what you're conversating with Him about, and
Hmm.
focusing on trying to listen to Him and maybe what He's trying to tell you in response, right?
Yep.
Uh, and first off, realizing that when that's happening and what it is, like either whether it's just you yourself coming up with these things and you need help from the Lord to rebuke these thoughts and take captive every thought, or
Yeah.
if it's a fiery dart from the enemy that's trying to distract you.
Pull me back.
Either
I feel
way,
like it was kind of
yeah,
reel me back in. Is what I felt like.
yeah. Either way,
Which is also probably
them
why
are.
when I gave up on it, or go ahead.
I was gonna say either way, them are times when what I find really helps relieve me and get me through that is either try to rebuke it in Jesus' name, He's blessed me with, things He's helped me through, and just start worshiping Him for who He is in Scripture, and eventually that stuff goes away.
I mean, I would
That
like for it
helps
to.
me,
There's
but
there's another wild one I had recently. I had, intrusive thoughts is a problem for me. Right? My brain, I am very
yeah.
judgmental in my head, right? And I try not to be. I tell you, it's like I don't want
Uh,
to say a split
T-Rex
personality.
said that
Yeah, that
happens to him too, man. So
yeah. Yeah, what the $806 a month? I seen that one. Dude, I'm telling you, I bleed $100 bills daily. It's insane, you know. So I don't go outside. They say it's like $300 a day out there. It is. It stuff's expensive outside, man. I'd rather be home. Um, yeah, I don't. I'm telling you, the whole thing is just it's wild. But I'll give you another one that was crazy. There was something in my head that kept popping up with my kid and cancer, right? And my kids don't have cancer.
mm,
None of them. I've been blessed that all three of them are healthy and never had an issue. And something just it kept popping up in my head that with that, and I prayed about it, and I asked God to remove that. Like, if this isn't from you, I need you to get it. I need you to get it out of my head. Right? Just not the idea. It was just like a thought of that coming about. And I'm like, I need you to go ahead and remove it. If this ain't from you, you got to get it out of here. And I'm praying and my eyes are closed. And I see like these 4 pages, almost like it got ripped out of a book and just tossed. Right? It's just these 4 little white things. It looked like it was getting ripped out of a book. And it was just like removed. And I'll be honest with you, as weird as it sounds, I haven't had that I would call it an intrusive thought. I don't know what it is, right? It's just something that's popping up in my head, right? For no reason. And like I just closed my eyes and prayed about it real hard, and it was like these 4 pages, man, just got like tossed, like just out of sight, kind of a thing. And it's not like I could see a book and I could see this and see that, but it was like my eyes are closed and it looked like these little square white things just getting pulled out of a book and tossed out. And I haven't really I haven't had that pop in my head since, so but I wonder about that, man. And again, I go back into that where that guy said, like, people need to, quit thanking God for everything they got. And some of these people need to start thanking Satan for what they got. And I'm like, maybe that's why my life's easy all the time. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. Is there some stuff that went on a million years ago and that's been a part of me, and maybe he's been making sure that I was good so I wouldn't veer off and go the other way? I don't know. And, I struggle with a lot. I think I overthink a lot, though, too. I'd give you that. I overthink a lot of things. Most of my day is spent just playing out scenarios of life and how I'm going to deal with conversations if they ever come up, and what I'll say and when. Except for there's one that really bothered me. Is one of the people on my team at work. We were talking about life stuff or whatever, and it got brought up about, or no, it was, I brought my Bible to work one day and I was reading it, and I was talking to this chick on my line about it and whatever, she reads and stuff too. And it got brought up at like one of the breaks or lunchtime or something. And they're like, did you bring her a book or did she bring you a book? And I was like, no, I brought her my Bible. I was showing her whatever. Right. And she's like, you read the Bible? It was written by man. And, I read something a while back and it bothers me. I couldn't remember it in that moment because, my thing was, I go, yeah, I mean, it was written by man, but I feel like I believe it was written by man through God, right? That's what I believe. But like, I wish I was more prepared when that was said. Like there's a thing, and I can't even remember any of the people now, but it was like Alexander the Great. There's only been like 25 things ever found, ever. There's only like 25 writings ever found that he even existed, right? Like manuscripts.
Yeah.
And then there was like, I want to say Genghis Khan, but I don't remember if he was one, but it was like 10 manuscripts on him, right? I believe that's who it was, but I'm not 1,000% on that. But it was like 10 manuscripts ever found that he even existed. So everything we know was 10 things that were written that we found. And his whole history is just, that everyone takes as fact was based off of these 10 things, right? And so, I mean, but there's a bunch of that through history and this is all stuff I just recently, and I Googled a bunch of them and it all came back the same from what I seen the post on. I Googled those things and it all came back to match exactly what it is. So, because again, I have an issue taking people's word for stuff and not actually looking into it myself. I forget that people lie, right? So I buy a lot of crap, just taking people's word for stuff. So that's something I've been trying to get into more, is just looking for myself. But that's, but I wish I would have had more knowledge on that. And I wish I would have spoke up and said that, because when it comes to Jesus, they claim there's over 25,000 manuscripts found that proved his existence. You know what I'm saying? So,
and
which is weird.
Biblical, and it's not just like.
Yeah. I mean, it's just wild. Yeah, but I mean, isn't that wild though? Like, I think it was Genghis Khan. There was like 10 manuscripts ever found that proved he ever existed. Right. So if it wasn't for those 10 things ever found, no one he wouldn't be part of history. But the thing is, when it comes to Jesus, there's supposedly over 25,000 found, and you got, I don't know. I mean, I would say probably what percentage of the world do you think believes that Jesus existed? Less than half? It's got to be less than half. Uh-oh. You there? Oh, there you
I think it's pretty well accepted now that a man named as far as people, I mean, and you can just do some research and come and find the evidence that Jesus Christ existed
go.
now,
Well, yeah, but
but
as
and
far
that
as
he a man named Jesus was crucified. But as far as him actually being the son of God,
I'm losing you. Yeah.
Jesus is the most famous name on earth. I don't know if you're in a bad zone or just me asking about Jesus killed it, but you cut out right after I said that. I'm trying to see if I can pick you up somewhere. You there? I think you're in a dead zone. Or I'm telling you, it's me talking about Jesus, man. It just made the phone go wild. T-Rex, can you hear him?
you hear me?
Yep, I got you now. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, once I said about Jesus, my phone started tripping out and went like robot
Yeah.
mode.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh
So
well,
I said, I don't know what.
I went
Oh,
through
go
a
ahead.
dead zone too. I lost service, so
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, man.
Yeah. I
That
guess I should have said that Jesus being the Son of God and stuff like that. I mean, how many people actually believe that? Even with
I know.
25,000 manuscripts saying it.
Yeah, I know a lot of people profess to, to believe it, but I mean, I don't know. He is the narrow way, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say the minority of people.
Yeah, I mean I mean, but I think that the world would agree that Genghis Khan was a thing, that Alexander the Great was a thing, that they wouldn't argue anything other than what they're told. But then when you're told that, I mean, this thing played out,
Well,
that Jesus
yeah.
was the Son of God and he came here and, died for our sins. People are like, well, hang on a second. I think there is something too about saying Jesus' name and then the phone trips out. I believe that.
And then if you actually have a conversation with these people,
Mhm.
most of the time, all they're doing is parroting, is being a parrot of something they heard on a short or some simple argument to where they can just cop out.
Yeah. Well, that's the hard part too.
So
Is the chick that
I
the
mean,
chick that was
it's
calling me out and it was also a lesbian. I don't know if that helped or not.
yeah. I mean, that's probably a demon in her
I
trying to
know
mock
that's the
you for
hard
reading
part,
the
right?
words. Like,
That what, and I've always had an issue with that, right? Because people find out my beliefs and whatever, however it comes out, and usually the topic of gay people comes out, and I'm like, listen, I don't have a valid argument. I believe it's supposed to be between a man and a woman. I believe that. But as far as and maybe I'll read some stuff and I'll feel differently. But as of today, if you ask me, I would say that's between them and God. They're gonna figure. He's gonna let them know. If he's got a problem with it, he's gonna let them know. You know, I mean, I think that he's against it,
Well, and
but what is me doing? Telling
absolutely
them
he
ain't
is.
gonna get him to change. I think that and that's why I say, like, hey, if he's got a problem with it, he's gonna let you know. That's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying?
And and the thing is, a lot of them don't see. They choose the lust of the flesh over God.
Yeah.
They would rather. But and here's what I've read in Scripture. Right,
Mm-hmm.
it is an abomination to the Lord
Okay.
for a man to be with a man and a woman to be with a woman.
Okay.
Okay. With that being said, you know, God also don't like men sleeping around on their wives
Sure.
or having premarital sex or any number of sexual immoral sins. Uh, the homosexual thing becomes a big issue, right? And it
Yeah.
is a big issue, but it's like God has a problem with a lot of things I've done in my life too. So, but I don't hate them
Yeah.
because of that, right? You
Yeah.
a lot of that crowd likes to mock them and hate them and thinks it's hate speech when you call them out on sin, but that's what God's exposing your sin. I mean, that's what he's going to do. You can either be mad
Yeah.
about it or you can hit your knees and thank him for revealing how you're flawed and that you need a savior. And you're either going to go one or
Sure.
two ways. So, but they like to throw that up there. Always written by men and stuff. Yeah, men inspired by the Holy Spirit of God.
Yeah.
So, I mean, take with that what you will. You don't have to believe it. But that's you uh, willingly rejecting the truth, rejecting your salvation. That's
Yeah.
between you and the Lord. I'm
That's what
telling you the
that's
truth.
that's what I
you
tell him.
know,
He's gonna let you know if he's got a problem with it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he don't care, and he'll tell you that too. Maybe he'll say that I overreacted and that I should shut up more or something.
uh,
I don't know.
T
I
Rex
feel
said,
like
T Rex said, your grass looks good, man.
yeah.
And he also
Listen,
said, Jesus
I,
is the most famous name on earth. I agree.
yeah. Hey, I'll take you for a tour. These are my raspberry bushes. I got like 40 of these things,
You get any good
and
raspberries off of it?
not yet this year. Show you my peaches though.
Oh, man, dude.
You grow
You,
peaches in Warren, Michigan, baby. Look at this.
is that a peach tree?
Yeah, I got 3 of them.
Dude, I got a
Yeah,
peach tree. I planted, all right, get this. I planted a
yeah.
peach tree maybe
Some
over a
more
decade
peaches.
ago, right?
Okay.
And I have, and I got it as a baby. So uh, it took like 10 years for that thing to start bearing fruit. It
Okay.
just started bearing fruit like last year or year before
Yeah.
that, the first time. I was like, man. Now that brought, let me tell you, that brought to life that whole, you'll know them other fruits and somebody bearing fruit in their Christian walk, right? It takes
Yeah.
time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It can take some
Oh,
time.
we got lucky on these peaches, man. We did like the second year we started. We got a couple. I think this has been like 6 years, but I mean they do good. I got 3. The big one's up by the house, and then this little whatever one. They just get smaller the further you get back. I got one over here
Did you,
too. This is
are those, do you have to have, I can't remember if it's peaches or apples because I got one of each. But are peaches, are you supposed to have two so they can cross pollinate so they bear fruit quicker?
I'll be
Or
honest
is
with
that
you, probably. There's a lot of stuff
okay?
that's like that, right? But I couldn't. My wife would give you a better answer on that one. But we have a lot of stuff. So I mean, like I got 3 peach trees, right? This is the smallest one in the back, and then I got that guy, and then there's the bigger one up there, and then I got cherry trees, right? This is more like a. I did this all stemmed from COVID because we couldn't get nothing, right? And like going to the store and the kids want fruit, but everyone's sold out. So I got this. This is my like Charlie.
You got a whole fruit garden back
Bro,
there,
this is
don't
my Charlie Brown cherry tree. This thing's sad. So I got that one. I got this guy here,
you?
and then I got this is my bigger one. I don't know why, but all the trees up close to the house grow bigger. So this thing we chopped a bunch down. It's probably still 15 feet tall, but and supposedly we got some cherries on them. I haven't found them yet. We had some flowers. I don't think it's gonna do good again this year. Um, there's no lights back here, but I do have. I don't know if you'll be able to see it even. See if I get my light going here. Let's see. I won't turn on while I'm on live, but see, you probably can't even see it. Let me see if I can get behind it. So this is one of my apple trees. This is like a 4-in-1, right? So every branch, and it's too dark to read any of these, but every branch on this tree is a different kind of apple. They're just all grafted into one tree. That's kind of neat. We got a couple apples last year from that. And then in the front yard, I have, so this is just the backyard. But yeah, these are all this stuff back here. This is all raspberries. This, it's not really enclosed. It's all overgrown. I got to trim this stuff up, but they go all the way around here, and then there's like a little walk through, and then it starts up again and goes all the way up here. There's definitely over 40. I don't know, there's probably 60 or 80 at this point. And then this is another raspberry section. And then we got, like, she grows vegetables and stuff back there. We haven't planted nothing yet, but this is all because COVID, man. This was just, again, this is just I enjoy the idea of being more self-sustainable than others. But I also don't like being relying on anything. I just I do my own thing, and I like to be left alone. And the problem is a lot of people don't understand that, and they just, when you want to be left alone, it just, people think you're weird. I'll show you these ones too. I got these are more. Oh, I can't, the porch light ain't on, but this is like a Granny Smith. Here it's small. We did get a couple off this one, and then the street lights ain't even on in front of my house. But this one that you can't even see, this is a red delicious and a yellow delicious. They're just like wrapped around each other, which you can't see. But
Oh
that's
dang.
my whole garden. But I mean, they do good, man. I mean, the squirrels tear me up. They definitely get their fair share. That drives you
Yeah.
nuts. I got to figure that out. My dog takes care of the squirrels in the backyard. He kills
Yeah.
anything that makes it into the yard. With the front yard ones. Yeah, I just tell you, if you don't have a fenced-in yard and a dog, don't put your apple trees in the front yard. Because everything else is going to get to it. But yeah, I mean, we enjoy the garden stuff. I mean, eventually, I'd like to move north and get out of the city, except for the tick stuff, man. The tick stuff seems like it's getting wild. I
Oh
don't know.
yeah. I've heard that. I don't know how legit it is, but I've heard about that.
I don't know. My friend's I got a friend that's got a place up north, and he's only got a couple acres, but he said they're pretty bad. He said for it being this early into like spring or whatever, he said the ticks are already pretty relentless. So I don't know, man, but I mean, it seems like Lyme disease is, being that they got a vaccine coming out for Lyme disease. I'm assuming they're expecting it to be pretty bad this year, right? Whether they did it or not, don't know. But and then you got the red meat one. That one's supposedly been around for a while, but I think it's just kind of going
The red
mainstream.
meat.
The Lone Star tick, when it bites you, you become allergic to red meat. Well, actually, and I heard it's not even red meat. It's anything from mammals, I guess. So it's like a mammal meat thing, right? So
Wow.
I guess you could probably do fish and stuff like that, but I watched one guy say he can do eggs, but that's it. That's the only thing he can really do is eggs. He said anything that comes from a mammal, he can't do it. So, I mean, being that he could only do eggs, I'm assuming he can't do chicken. Because he said at this point he's eating eggs and vegetables is his diet.
I've never heard of this before. Called the Lone Star tick.
It's called it's the Lone Star tick that carries it, and it literally looks like it has a like one white little star on its back. So it's the Lone Star because it looks like it has one single star on its back.
Okay, I know. I've seen them ticks for sure. I thought those are the ones that had the Lyme diseases.
You've seen them with the white dot on the back?
Yeah, a bunch. I've seen those most of the time. Yeah. I've
Oh,
seen them more
dude,
than I do
yeah.
any other tick. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I live in the city, so we don't really get nothing out here. People say, "Oh, you get them in the city too." I've never had listen, the summertime, I will lay under one of these trees and crash out for a few hours. I've never had a tick on me. I
Yeah, I
did when
think
we
they
went up north
spray
a
and
couple years
stuff.
ago.
I think they spray and
Oh, yeah,
stuff out there for that. But yeah, man, there's ticks all around my place for sure. But I live in the
yeah,
woods, so
I would. I mean, I'd look into that, man. It's called the alpha gal syndrome.
wow.
It's a deal. It's a real thing. And supposedly people are getting it. And I mean, that's people get into different conspiracies. All right, there's people saying. I mean, there is videos of. I've seen a video many times over of a farmer claiming there's a little metal box. It looks like it's full of like cotton or something. And there is a bunch of little somethings running around in there. Whether or not those are ticks or not, I can't say. Whether or not he put them there, I can't say. But I mean, there was a metal box with white stuff in it. It looked like cotton, maybe.
That sounds like a
And there was,
spider's nest or something more than it does a tick.
well, I mean, so the argument is people are saying that they've seen helicopters dropping stuff in fields, and farmers supposedly, allegedly, farmers are claiming they're finding metal boxes in their fields with full of ticks,
Mm,
right? Now whether or not that's the case, who knows? You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I'm not a farmer. I didn't find a metal box in my backyard full of anything, so I can't speak on that. And to be honest with you, the only evidence of that I've seen is one video, and people post it all over the place. So it looks like there's thousands, but I've seen the video enough to know that it's the same video. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I don't know. And who knows? Is it complete BS? Don't know. Couldn't tell you. I mean, it looks like, the guy saying he's like, I'm not going to touch it because there's ticks running around in that thing. Or I don't know if he said they were ticks or he said there's something in there, but like he kicked it and you can see there's stuff running all over. But it does look like cotton balls, maybe, or just like maybe not so much cotton balls, but it does look it's something white and it looks fluffy. So that's why I said like cotton. Like it looks like a little metal box lined with cotton. And there's stuff running around all inside it.
Wow.
And he
Yeah, I hadn't
claims they're
seen that.
ticks.
Well,
And
it might be.
I mean, who knows, right? Is it that obvious? That's my problem, right? Because like this is the conspiracy aspect of it. Is the government dropping boxes of ticks full of these diseases? Because even Joe Rogan did a thing recently. I didn't see the episode, but I seen a clip, and it was him and some guy who either is like a congressman or was a congressman, and he says it probably is real. And those metal boxes people are claiming to be finding are probably like what do they call like stuff that can't breed? I forget they call it, not neutered, whatever, sterile. He said that you'll probably find out in a couple years that it was the government dropping sterile, boxes of sterile ticks to breed, wipe out the populations of the breeding ticks and blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Now, is that the case? Who knows, right? The guy's just saying, he goes, I'm not saying I can prove it. I'm just saying that that's probably what that is. You'll find out in a couple years that that's what it was. The government dropped off sterile ticks to wipe out the, ones with the diseases, allegedly.
Why wouldn't they just
So
announce that though? Is what I don't get. Like, if you're gonna do something like that, why not just announce you're gonna do it?
I don't know. I mean, everyone's blaming Bill Gates, right? That's the thing.
Yeah, yeah, old
But
Bill Gates.
I mean, that guy catches a lot of grief, and I'm not saying he's innocent, but I'm just saying he
Oh,
does
we
seem to
know
catch a
he
lot
ain't
of grief.
innocent because the Epstein
No,
file
but
says that he ain't innocent.
I know, but and that's another thing, right? Because like people are like, "Oh, the only reason now the government's saying there's aliens because the Epstein files." I don't know. Maybe I'll tell you. You know what? The only thing a lot bothers me about the Epstein files. One thing that really bothers me. I'll give you two things that bother me about the Epstein files. Ghislaine Maxwell got 20-something years in prison or whatever for selling kids to who? That's my problem. You know what I'm saying? How did she get found guilty and no one was charged? She got
Yeah,
guilty of like 15 accounts of selling kids to nobody? What are we doing here? You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
If she
have they actually charged her? Has she actually been convicted?
Yeah, she's been in prison.
I know they've been holding her, but I didn't know she ever went to court and they actually tried her,
Okay, I
or
can't
tried
answer
her
that.
yet.
I just assume they did. I
No,
I
see,
believe they did. I thought she
I
got found
thought
like guilty on like 15 accounts or something
Well,
like that.
I know she was being accused of that, but I didn't know she'd been tried yet. I knew they'd been holding her, and that's kind of what I was wondering. Like, why are they still holding her? They hadn't even tried her yet, and you know,
Yeah, I'll have to look
I
that
don't
one
know.
up. I thought
Yeah,
she
I could
was
be
tried
wrong.
and convicted, but
She might have been.
my problem was is no one else got in trouble, right? And all this stuff. And then, dude, there's so many things. You know, another one that's crazy to me, Charlie
What's
Kirk's
that?
wife. Charlie Kirk's
Mm,
wife. She forgave the man who. You know who Drewski is?
yeah,
Okay, so the guy that does the videos, man, he made fun of her and stuff like that. She
yeah,
forgave the man who killed her husband, but not the guy who did a parody video making fun of her. That is bizarre to me.
yeah. Do you think
You
she
would think.
really forgave the guy? She said that, but
Oh no, yeah, yeah. That's all hypothetical, right? I mean, I don't know.
yeah.
You know, you're supposed to forgive, but if someone murdered my wife, could I? Don't know.
Man, it'd
I'll
be
tell you
hard. It'd
this:
be hard to do for sure.
it'd be hard to do. It'd be hard to do, man. I promise you that. To the point where I probably couldn't do it. I don't know. I would pray about it a lot, but you know, whether or not you could say you forgave him,
But
but
if
if you
I,
found him alone in a dark alley, did you really forgive him? You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Well, here's the thing, though. Here's what I.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. The guy that made fun of you is unforgivable. And not only that, you had the guy, and I do buy into conspiracy theories. At this point, though, most of them came out as true within like the last year or so. Like, there's only a couple of them still holding on to. I'm just kidding. I don't really know if there's any more that I'm holding on to or not, but probably. But like, I don't believe that the guy that they had and the guy they got is the guy that did it. I don't believe that at all. And that's just being a gun owner, right? If your argument was that he did it, he disassembled it, jumped off the roof, reassembled it,
No way.
stop. No, not
No
in a million
way.
years. And then the argument was like, I don't remember, what was it, a 308 or 30-06, and they claim, oh, it hit his stop.
If dude
I don't
got
even
hit,
hunt, but I know
dude,
ballistics.
if that dude would have got hit, that's what I hunt with the 30-06. Okay,
Was that what it
if
was?
that
I don't remember. It
man,
was either 30-06 or 308. I don't remember.
e- either one, I think it was a 30-06 is what they was claiming, but either one, but especially if it was
Yeah,
a 30-06. Let me tell you something.
yeah,
If a 30-06 would have hit that man in the neck,
yeah.
it would have blew his head off.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, right?
It would have blew his head off, man. Like not necessarily like brains out everywhere, but his neck, like it would have broke his neck.
Yeah, it would have.
I
Yeah,
mean, it would have been catastrophic. It wouldn't have been like a
sure.
little no exit
Oh,
wound. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. It wouldn't have been a blood spout coming out of his neck. No, I'm with you on that. And so, like to me, and not only that, the head, whatever the ATF came out, like the lead investigator for gun crime stuff, whatever for the ATF came out and said the bullet that they recovered is not the bullet that came out of that gun.
Of course not,
And
because that's
Charlie
not the gun that shot him.
and Charlie Kirk's wife said she didn't want any more investigations.
Mm, wow.
So, and that was after he said that. He came out and said that. His wife says she don't want no more investigations.
Well, I don't really think
You
she can
know,
decide.
no, she shouldn't. You're the widowed wife. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't have any say except
You know,
for people that do Israel stuff. You know what I'm saying?
hey,
It's what it
empty.
is.
Yeah. I appreciate you. But yeah, man, I don't like this. It's not even her choice, right? She can't choose. She can't tell them to stop investigating. It's,
Yeah,
it's
it's just
either
weird. It's weird
it's picked up by the
how.
feds.
Yeah, but if they're all working for the same guy, anyways, as far as I'm concerned, so. You know what I'm saying? I don't know
Oh
that
yeah,
answer, dude. By any means, I don't. But like, you see what I'm saying? This is the stuff I buy into. When I
oh
seen
yeah.
that, I seen it and
There's
I was like, that's horrible. And I thought he got shot. And then they're like 30-06 or 308, whatever. And then you see the video of the guy jumping off the roof and they claim, well, and people are like, where's the gun? Oh, he disassembled it.
and
But like, dude,
he hurt his ankle when he jumped, right?
well,
So
yeah, it was like a second floor.
it's like
I,
okay,
I would have broke both my legs. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
that's bull crap, bro. He didn't disassemble and reassemble that thing. That's a lie.
And then he tossed
That's
it
a
in the
lie.
woods, and then he was caught on camera miles away. The image of the guy wearing glasses. I'm sorry, I make jokes about how like black people say all white people look the same, white people say all black people look the same, and I tell people as a white man, the dude in the image with the sunglasses on is not the dude they arrested, and I know that because white people to me look different. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So being that I am a professional in this thing because I'm white, those are two different human beings. Uh, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But dude, you watched this story. I watched a documentary years ago on the JFK assassination.
Mm,
There's like a 3 hour, I don't know what it's called. It was on YouTube, but it's like a 3 hour documentary, and it just shows. It doesn't prove anything, but it just shows a lot of wild stuff that happened in the same general areas. Like this, like within like an hour of JFK, or I think it was like within like a half hour of JFK getting took out. There was a cop killed in Houston that I believe it was either Dallas or Houston, but they used to call him JFK, and he looked identical. But he was also shot. He died from one single gunshot wound, right?
yeah.
And there's this weird, right? Because you got the magic bullet theory, and they claim it ricocheted like 7 times. But then you got people that got hit with like debris from like a bullet bouncing off a curb, and like, dude, nothing adds up. Nothing
No.
adds up. Like the whole way. But like this is like a 3 hour documentary, and then it gets into the guy that killed JFK, and then he ran into like a theater or whatever, and I forget, right? I don't remember how it all played out, but just like the way it worked out, and then he gets taken out, and it's like, is this not? What are we doing here? How did all this stuff just like it was complete chaos for how long? And it just seems like if you were trying to cover it up, this is the way. Like what was it? Who was the guy that killed his wife and drove around in that Bronco?
Oh, OJ
What was his
Simpson.
name? O.J. Simpson, right? He wrote a book like "If I Did It, This Is How It Would Have Happened" or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, because you did it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
come
he
on,
did it.
this is a joke. That's why that guy got like 20 years for a B&E. You didn't get 20 years for a B&E. You got 20 years for killing your wife.
Yeah.
That's what you got. You know what I'm saying? People turn it into like, no, that's from breaking into that house and stealing all that memorabilia. No, it's because you got off of killing your wife, and that judge was like, this guy's getting cooked.
Yeah. Your sins will find you out.
Yeah. But man, I do appreciate these live streams. Like I said, it gets me, and I don't know why I can't get myself excited about reading.
Yeah.
I can't, but the live streams help.
Hey man, that's what brothers are for, dude.
Yeah.
Brothers in Christ are there to encourage each other to try to stay on the path, to get into scripture and and pursue the things of God. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. I enjoy it. I really do. I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's something I need all the time. That's why you haven't been on in a while, right?
Do what?
You haven't done a live stream in a while.
No, I haven't, man.
Yeah.
I was doing those a little bit, and then because I'm trying to drive and stuff like that, and it's hard for me to interact, right?
Sure.
And then I was kind of wanting, because I'm wanting to actually like do some reading, and kind of get into the scriptures and stuff while I do it, and maybe have discussions or whatever. Maybe kind of do a little teaching, not really teaching, but just like if the Lord gives me a message, you know, uh, share that, and just kind of do a thing with it. But here lately, I ain't, you know, I've just kind of been distracted. I guess it's kind of hard to do the streams, because I
Yeah.
drive,
Yeah. No, I get that.
but
I get it. I've been You gotta get going soon.
no, I
You
mean I'm
too?
driving.
Oh.
I'm
Oh, you're
parking
still
right
driving?
now.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm.
Oh. I've been thinking about. So I got this idea on a YouTube channel that I've been sitting on for a while.
Yeah.
And it's a zombie apocalypse channel. All right. It's called Surviving Zombieland.
Yeah.
And so I have a few. I have 4 YouTube channels. I only do I don't even do anything really anymore with any of them. But I've only done anything with 2, like the animal one and then the other one. But the first one got too dark, so I kind of gave up, right? Because that's not the direction I would like to go in my life. And then you got the animal one, which I've been too busy to do anything with that. My other one is so like you're talking about the alcohol stuff. So I don't really drink. Like I said, when we go camping, I'll have a couple beers, whatever. But other than that, I won't have another drink outside of camping in front of a bonfire. I can guarantee it's not happening. I just don't drink like that. But I was drinking, and then I got into bourbon kind of for a minute, like probably started like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I just got into purchasing hard to find bottles, man. And I acquired a bunch, and my bottle selection is probably 150 bottles at this point.
Yeah.
But just like hard to find stuff, I get a kick for it, and I enjoy going out and finding it and buying it. But I also my wife enjoys making homemade vanilla. So I made a YouTube channel where I'm basically just going to start destroying all these expensive bottles of alcohol and turn them into vanilla.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's going to hurt because it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. But,
Yeah.
again, I don't believe that people should be, again, I think you're allowed to have a drink or whatever. I don't believe you're supposed to be getting hammered, which I believe the majority of people who are drinking are doing it to get hammered, not for whatever else, the flavor or just the relaxation that comes with it or whatever. I highly doubt. I think some people do. Some people are going to have a beer or two just to relax after work, but the majority of people are doing it to forget their past or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I don't really want to sell them because I feel like if I sell them or even gave them away, they're going to the wrong cause. But if I turn them into vanilla, whatever, and I think like, I mean, I bought a bottle probably. Well, actually, that bottle is what made me quit the 4-day fast.
Yeah.
Because again, I'm supposed to be removing myself from worldly whatevers, right? Like, I'm not having sex with my wife, I'm not eating food, but I found a very hard to find bottle of alcohol that I'll never find again. And I bought it. And after I bought it, I'm like, what did you just do? Like, you haven't had sex with your wife in like 4 days, but you just bought a 12-year-old bottle of Jack for what? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. I put that over my wife. That's crazy to me. So I stopped. After that, I was like kind of upset with myself, and I just went and got some food and then ate and went to work. And I called my wife and was like,
Dang.
"Hey, I'm not fasting anymore." And she's like, "Why not?" And I told her. She's like, "Are you serious?" I got 100% serious. And she's like, "You gave up over that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm supposed to like be removing all the worldly stuff from my life." And like, I'm supposed to be starving my flesh out. And the one thing I couldn't starve myself out of was a series 1, which they're in series 4 now. So I mean, that bottle's been sitting there for 4 years, right? I'm like, it's the first it's the series 1 of the Jack 12. So the first Jack 12 that ever released, right? Which is
Yeah.
4 years ago, which arguably is the best Jack 12 bottle ever released. And I'm like, I'll never see that again. They're not sitting on shelves. This was an old dusty party store that happened to have one behind the counter, and I was talking to the guy, and he's like, "You know anything about this?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, what is that you have there?" Right?
Yeah.
Um, and I didn't want to, I just bought it because he's like, "Oh, it was $200, but whatever." But I bought it because I looked at it and said, or it didn't say series 1; it's a batch 1. So I'm like,
Oh,
batch
batch
1.
one.
They're on batch 4 right now, right?
Dang.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, a batch 1. So that's 4 years ago. And it is the first Jack 12 that came out, which
Dang.
again is arguably the best one that's ever created so far. I mean, the 14s are out now, and I did see a 14 at a liquor store the other day, but that was 700. And I'm like, I don't even care that much. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I seen one for like $150, I'd probably be a buyer.
Yeah.
But for 700, I'm like, that's
Seven
that
hundred
could sit there.
dollars. Woo.
Yeah, $700, bro. I don't know if you know anything about that, but that Jack 14 is supposed to be a bad boy.
Mm.
I mean, MSRP on it is like $150, but Secondary is insane, right? Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm not trying to do all that right now. So, so that's my plan. I'm gonna buy a bunch more vanilla beans, and I'm gonna turn a bunch of shit into to vanilla, and then we just
So
make cookies with it, and we give it away at Christmas time.
oh, cool. So you're turning the alcohol into, or are you pouring it out and
No, that's all vanilla is. It's just vanilla beans and alcohol.
oh, okay. I don't know anything about
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah. Does
you're
your wife
teaching
do
me
cookies
something.
and stuff or what?
Uh, I mean, like not from scratch.
Oh, I was gonna say,
No.
I'll send you. I gotta send Tanner some. Problem is, Michigan, you can't ship alcohol in the mail. I
Oh, really?
also believe that laws are meant to be broken, so I'll do whatever I want. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You know, I mean that's a stupid law. Like we can go to islands and bang kids, but we can't ship vanilla in a box. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Can't
saying?
ship vanilla. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's how it is. I mean, mainly it's just vodka, right? Because it doesn't leave a flavor. Like the vodka cooks out when you cook them, blah, blah, blah. But I tell you what, like you can make it out of bourbon. So she does it out of bourbon. She does it out of, yeah, like vodka, bourbon, rum, like a white
Yeah.
rum. That's pretty much it. But dude, I buy 175s usually, like the 1.75 liters. I
Yeah.
probably got 10 of them that are
Oh, dang.
just. But the thing with the vanilla is though too to get like for the best flavors, it's like 16 months that it's got to sit there, and every couple of days you got to go shake the bottle up and all that stuff, and so it's a process and it takes a long time. But the
Hey,
crazy thing is,
did
oh,
you
go
ever
ahead.
try Buffalo Trace?
Oh yeah, dude, I got Buffalo Trace vanilla. I got Eagle Rare vanilla. I got I'm about to turn some like Weller 107, some antique 107 into vanilla.
Mm.
Um, that's gonna drive some people. But I was thinking about that because I wanted to get rid of these bottles. I can't pour them out. That to me is gonna be crazy. But
Yeah.
I will turn them into vanilla.
Yeah.
Like I got some fancy bottles, bro. I got a couple Jack 12s. I got a bunch of Jack 10s. I mean, I give them away. Really, I give them away usually at Christmas. Not the 12s. I've never given away a 12. That's crazy. But I have
Yeah.
given away 10s for Christmas and stuff like that. Just the people that are like Jack fans, whatever, right? They get a kick out of it. I don't really care. I get lucky and find them here and there. But what else do I got? I got a couple fancy bottles on there. Yeah, like the 107, that's dope to me. That's a real hard one, at least to get here. I don't know about where you're at, but the Weller Antique 107 that's a monster to get. But I'm gonna turn that stuff into vanilla, man, and I'm gonna
That's
do YouTube videos on it, and I think people are gonna see it and be upset.
well,
Uh,
yeah, probably.
and most of these bottles, bro, are all like they're all minimum $100 bottles.
Yeah. I kind of went down the same path you're talking about, man. I went from hold on a second. I went from beer to liquor and bourbon.
Yeah,
Uh, and then had to reel myself back. But I've always liked, Crown, uh, um, Jack. Jack's pretty good. Um, but never been like I never got that big in it. So I mean, I know what you're talking about, but uh, like as far as higher end bottles, but I don't. As far as like being learned in it and kind of knowing what you're talking about with the bottles,
yeah, yeah.
I'm not. I'm
It's
not
just,
that
it's
well.
a lot of it's just age statements, right? That's all it really
Yeah.
is. And the longer it's in there, the more flavor you get. Blah blah blah. I'm not even a
Yeah.
Jack fan. My brother-in-law is an alcoholic, but he only drinks Jack, so
Yeah.
he usually gets a bottle. But what's crazy is I got him a bottle a couple years ago, because I think it's like 94 proof or something like that for like the regular Jacks. I don't remember, but I think
Yeah.
the tens are like 97. I gave him a bottle. I gave him a Jack 10, thinking he's gonna save it for like a special occasion. No, he took that thing to the dome that night and then called us the next day
Dang.
and was like, "What did you give me?" And I'm like, "That was a Jack 10." And he's like, "I've never been that drunk in my life." And I'm
Well,
like,
now you
"Okay,
have.
so yeah, because but then the Jack 12s are 107. Those are
Mm.
a monster. And then I think the 14s are like 117.
Oh man.
Or they're up there. They're a lot.
Yeah.
I gotta find my charger. Yeah, they get up there. They do get up there in the proofs, and they will mess you up right. But I don't drink it. I don't. To me, they're not good at all. Like I'm not drinking for flavor. I'm drinking to get obliterated. Right. That's what I drink
Yeah.
for. So I don't do what everyone else is doing. I'll show you my I gotta put my. I hope this charger thing does something here because my phone's getting low. But I'll go show you my vanilla
Uh-oh.
stuff. Hey, do you bow
Yeah,
hunt
that's
at
pretty
all?
neat, man. Man, I haven't. I don't. I don't have a bow.
Okay.
So I'd be interested in it, but I just never really I never got a bow and never really got into it. What
I mean,
about
are
you?
you big? No, I've never hunted in my life. No, but no one in my family hunts. Right. So I
Yeah.
never I would like to. I mean, I have a lot of. I'm a gun guy, right? That's my thing. So reptiles and guns are my. That's really all I got as far as hobbies go, right? And so I got. I usually don't tell people what I got. I don't like telling people what I got, but whatever. So like a 450 Bushmaster, that was one of my friends. He needed some money a while back, right? So that's an AR platform though, but that was his like whitetail rifle. But then like 30-06 stuff, right? I got some of that. 308. Probably my most powerful gun I have is I got it from my stepdad, but that's a 300 Weatherby mag.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, that's what's wild about that though. We took that. We used to go four wheeling all the time when my mom was with my stepdad or whatever. But we took that up north one time, and his son used to beat the hell out of me all the time. Right? He was bigger than me, stronger than me, whatever. And we went up north and to shoot it, and my stepbrother shot it first, and he broke his collarbone. Like this guy's way bigger than me. He beat the hell out of me all the time, and he shot it, hits the ground, and starts crying. And so my stepdad yells at him, picks up, and hands it to me. I'm like, "You're insane." I'm thinking this guy beats me down every day, and he's crying. You think I'm gonna do this? Like, are you stupid? You know what I'm saying? Like, it is not for me. So
Yeah. From Hey, have a good one.
I've never shot it because I'm a sissy.
He was crying
He broke his collarbone.
from shooting that 300
The
mag.
Weatherby mag. Yeah, he broke his collarbone and just started crying. Like he hit the ground, dropped the gun. He got yelled at for dropping the gun, and then my stepdad hands me. I'm like, "You're insane, dude. Ain't no way. Not in a million years. Like that guy
Ain't no
beats me
way.
down every day, and he's crying. So ain't no way. I'll show you my whatever real quick though.
All right.
Let's see. Show you my vanilla stash. 'Cause that's what I do. I'm holding strong at 10% on this charger. Let's see. Oh no, lights. Let's see. Hold on.
Man, it's just been me, you, and T-Rex.
That's it. Does T-Rex know anything about vanilla? Is he in here? See what he's talking about. Here we go. Oh, because people think it's crazy that I turn all this booze into vanilla, right? Hang on, I gotta move some stuff around. Oh, just so you can see it. Yeah. So this is my vanilla stuff going here, right? So there's a 175 Eagle Rare that I turned into vanilla. Here's some little
Yeah.
750 boys, Buffalo Trace. These are all vanilla. This is Tito's. This is your regular vodka ones. There's my white rum one in the back. She likes that one a lot. And then I got four
Yeah.
big
It
dogs
seems
of.
like it tastes good.
Oh, dude, I tell you what. When you use what's this one? Oh, another Tito's one, and then those are all 175 Buffalo Trace bottles. But yeah, so what I got? I got 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 175s and 2 750s.
Dang.
But then we have more upstairs, but those usually just end up in mason jars. right?
Okay.
Um,
So is that still like whiskey, or is it?
I mean, yeah, yeah, it would just be very vanilla-y, you know. I mean,
Okay, I got you.
you'd have to be a brave man to drink it. You know, I'm not. I mean, if you're really into vanilla, I'll tell you what though, dude, you use bourbon. Oh, here's another one. I didn't do this one yet, but this is one she bought recently to turn
Oh,
into
that's
vanilla.
cool.
It's not. Oh no, I'm sorry, sure did it. Let's see if you can
Oh
see the
man.
vanilla beans in it.
Oh, is that the vanilla?
Yeah,
Okay, I
see
was
it.
wondering what that was. Yeah, I can see them.
Um, but yeah, they when you use the bourbon though on it, I'll tell you what, she does banana bread with
Oh,
the
bro,
bourbon vanilla,
I bet
and it
that's
is
fire, ain't it?
dude, it's phenomenal. It's
Mm,
so much better than using like a vodka based vanilla.
yeah,
It's like the best banana bread I've ever had in my life.
yeah.
So I mean, it's cool. So I'm gonna see. I'm gonna turn in some crazy expensive bottles of bourbon, and I'm gonna turn them into vanilla, and people are gonna get upset with me about it, and that's okay. You know, I've done way worse. So, but my idea on this zombie thing, man, is so my channel is called Surviving Zombie Land, and my idea on that is to like spend like an hour in the garage and make some kind of a weapon that you have to try to survive like a zombie apocalypse with that weapon, but you get like an hour to do it. So I've been coming up with different ideas
Okay, so
on just
all right.
stupid weapons.
So the surviving zombie land. Okay,
Yeah.
so you have an hour to make the weapon.
Yep.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
So yeah, so it's like so basically, but you know, like I like watching I like zombie movies. Personally, I've always liked zombie movies. And but I got different ideas for stuff that I got one idea that I've never seen in a movie that I think's gonna be awesome, which is gonna but I also I enjoy welding, right? I
Yeah.
don't have a welder anymore. I gotta get one still, but I really do enjoy welding. I did a lot of that when I was younger. It was cool. Reminds me of my grandpa for some reason, but I don't know. I like the smell of it and stuff. But my grandpa was a welder, so that's probably why. He smells like, you know, that's probably what it is that reminds me of my grandpa, just the smell of it. But I want to do a so I got this Sierra that I don't never drive, and
Yeah.
I want to build a sword, or I need to get a sword and like weld it to like a trailer hitch, and I
Yeah.
want to put it in the back of my my truck, right? So I want to put it in the trailer hitch to the back of my truck. And the idea on that is like if there was zombies and you're like driving down the street and there's like a whole horde of zombies coming, that you could essentially do like donuts in this truck and just be chopping zombie legs off. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I've never seen done in a movie, but I think it would be a
Oh,
good time.
dude.
I've never
Yeah.
seen it. Out of all the craziness that I've ever seen in zombie movies, no one's ever stuck a sword to a trailer hitch and
And
just
just cut
like,
donuts and
yeah,
cut
dude, you could
zombies
just
up.
like, yeah, you could just, you know what I'm saying? Spin that mug around real quick and just chop some legs off and keep it moving.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. So I'm gonna build that on the YouTube channel. And I don't know. I think it's gonna be a good time.
That'd be cool. When are you gonna start this up? Or
I don't know.
do you already have the
No,
channel?
I have the channel. I just haven't done anything with it. Like I have the name, right? But I haven't done a video yet. But I mean, there's different. Like a lot of it's just gonna be stuff to do with the kids. Like do like a spike bat or something like that. I feel like my kids can help me make that in the garage.
That'd be
You know, putting
cool.
saw blades on stuff. I want to do like a one of my ideas is like a wooden baseball bat, and I'll take like an old like a saw blade off of whatever you call them. What do you call them? Not like the circle blades, like the
Like the
what's the-
hacksaws?
yeah, like whatever the saw. I don't know what the saws are. I can't even think what the heck the saw's called. But it's like, you know, it's like the big ring saw, right? Like you got the big. It's just a big ring that saws it. I can't. What is it called? I can't think of what the hell that thing's called. But whatever.
Hmm.
So the idea is to like carve out like a little trail, like little rails or whatever inside the bat, and then like inlay the blades into it. So it would
Hmm.
be like that, or have like a barbed wire not a barbed wire, but like a razor wire bat. I think would be cool.
Oh,
That'd be
that'd be
another
pretty
idea.
cool.
Just different weird zombie stuff. My only thing is like I still need to keep moving forward, and not to say it's going to be a spiritual channel, but I feel like if I could drop Easter eggs in there, that would be helpful, right?
Yeah.
Because one problem I had with my YouTube channel is I tried to do because you see people talk about whenever you talk about God or Jesus or anything like that in your YouTube videos, like the algorithm kills it, right?
Yeah.
And that is true. So, and I've proved that to myself by doing a video and then just mentioning Jesus, God, however, right? Like I did a few different ones, so I did different things, and the videos did horribly. And not that any of my videos ever did great. I mean, most of my videos would be 1,000 views by morning, right? Every one of my shorts I was doing would
Yeah.
usually be like by morning it had 1,000 views or whatever. But nothing really ever went crazy past that. But I found that on the videos that I talked about God in, I would have like 6 views the next morning. But then
Yeah.
I'll redo that exact same video and take the part out where I talked about God, and I got 1,200 views in a couple hours.
Oh, wow.
And then I did it again, and I do the exact same video where I say the exact same things, and I just use God in it once, just threw something in there about God, and then that video bombs. The next one, I do the exact same, I'll delete it, do the exact same thing without that part, and the video gets 1,000 views, 1,200 views, 1,500 views, whatever. So,
Mm.
I want to try to build a channel where I could still throw something in there, right? And I don't know to what degree, maybe because I feel like the videos, I don't know if I'm going to do videos or more. I'm probably just going to do like I'll go live and just make zombie weapons on a live. Maybe I do videos with that. I don't know, but I would like to implement speaking about God, or maybe I read like a scripture or something like that, or just talk about something that's crazy. Like you said, that people say the Bible's boring. If someone said if someone told me the Bible's boring, I would tell them that you've never read Genesis. Then
Yeah, I
you
know,
didn't
right?
even get through Genesis. Because I mean, and only to me, I'm still stuck at the craziest thing I've read in the Bible yet is in Genesis, where all of them dudes showed up and were like, "Hey, bring those angels out here so we can have sex with them." Or not angels, bring those dudes out here so we can have sex with them. You know what I'm saying? They don't think they knew they were angels, but if you can get past that and be like, "Yeah, this is all boring," you know what I'm saying? Like that's probably the craziest thing I've heard so far
I
out of
know,
all of it.
right?
I mean, this king feeding in Daniel, the king feeding all these people and their wives and their children. That's crazy. But crazier than that is a bunch of dudes and children walking out here talking about they want to have sex with a bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
That's pretty insane, especially when those dudes are angels.
I
You
mean,
know what I'm
that
saying?
just kind of shows and I think we kind of see it in society to a degree now. Just the lack of self control, like when it comes to lust and stuff like that. Like
Oh yeah.
we speak about OnlyFans and stuff like that, and I mean that's it's sad, man.
Yeah, it's very sad. I've never bought into any of that stuff. I was out of it when before they became a thing, right? I've never done OnlyFans. Hang on, I think I worded that wrong. I wasn't interested in looking at OnlyFans when that became a thing.
Yeah, me either.
The porno aspect of my life was already no longer existed.
Yeah,
I think it's sad that that's what women are doing.
yeah, and I mean, and they start young, man, and
Yeah.
it's
I
sad
used to
because
have some stats on that. I don't remember them offhand no more, but it was like, I forget what it was. It's like I forget. I can't
and
remember. I think
it's
it's like 1 in 10, one in, I think it's like 1 in 10 girls between the ages of like 18 and 24 have OnlyFans accounts,
and
or
it's
they do
sad
adult content,
because
not
they
where they're
think they're gonna
cooking.
get yeah, they think they're gonna get rich off of doing this stuff, and I
It's a
mean, it's
very
just
small
like
percentage.
yeah, it's a very small group that are actually gonna get rich and make millions, and the level you gotta stoop to get the attention and the shock value to gain that kind of views, it's just I mean, it's sad. I mean, that's like that I don't know her name, and she got famous because she was sleeping around with like 100 dudes in one day or something like that, or
Oh yeah, the Blue
and it's
Bunny or
like,
something like that.
yeah, something like that. And it's like, come on. I mean, how low are you going to degrade yourself just for fame and fortune? And not just her, the
Yeah,
guys participating, right, and the people watching. It's like,
yeah,
you
that's
know,
always been a thing though, where I think it was like 1,000 guys in a day or something like that.
maybe it was.
But it's a thing where it becomes a game, and who can do the most in the shortest amount of time, or not some short amount of time. It's I believe like it's like a challenge, I guess, right?
Yeah,
So
who
it's
can
like
be
a
the most
24-hour challenge.
depraved?
And
It's like,
yes, who could be? Yes, exactly. Who can be the absolute worst version of yourself in 24 hours and go? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like
and it's like,
that's
okay, you had
you're
your 15 minutes of fame, and now you're somebody who nobody wants to touch, or
mm-hmm.
nobody really values you as a person. You know,
No,
um, it's like you're not gonna, and you might not even, these people might not even want a husband or a relationship or nothing like that, but they want some respect. I mean, I would think you'd want some self-respect. You'd want to be respected just as a
yeah,
human being. But when you operate yourself that way, I mean, you're you're displaying the total opposite image.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, listen, yeah, I've watched documentaries on that where they interview these people like afterwards. It's probably like where are they now kind of a situation,
Yeah,
right? So it's like people that used to be in the industries and they get out and like what do they do now? And they talk about it, and it seems like all these girls get like they all regret it in time, right?
yeah,
And it's like, what are they doing? Like, when they talk about the amount of money they made, there's a one chick, she looks Middle Eastern. I don't know, I don't remember her name, but she was saying I mean, she did it for like I don't know, a year or two or something like that. I forget. She said, I want to say she did like 15 or 20 videos, and she said she only made like $10,000 total between all of her
yeah.
videos. And I'm thinking, like, you're out there naked for the rest of life. You're going to be floating around naked, and you made 10 grand.
That's nothing. You could
It's
work at a
not, it's
gas.
nothing.
You could work at a gas station, and make close to the same money. I mean, I don't know how many. You said she put out like 20 videos. I don't know.
Yeah.
All that, but I mean, it's like, and you can still have some integrity about you or
There you
whatever,
go.
and have
Integrity.
your.
That's the word. That's out the window. And then there was a chick that did it. Another chick. I know she dated one of like Jake Paul's friends. I believe it was. I don't know that guy's name, but she was dating him for a
Oh,
while.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, she was real popular.
But she got out of it, right? She got married, had a kid, and now she keeps. I see these posts on Facebook all the time where she's pleading for people to delete her videos because she has a child now. No, you put a price on that.
Yeah,
That's
that's public
that's
domain.
Yeah, that's probably, yeah, it's never going away. So, and then when your daughter gets older, eventually she's going to come across it. There's going to be a dude at her school that pulls that video up for her, and she's going to see what her mom used to do for a living. That's what you did. You essentially sold yourself, and these are your consequences. You know. You got a couple more minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think about? Uh, I'm not convinced that the vaccine was the mark of the beast at all. Right? I don't think so.
Um,
Um,
yeah. I mean, I think. I mean, I'm not. I think if you're looking at, like we're always told the mark of the beast is gonna keep you from buying and selling and stuff like that, and you'll be forced to take it. Um, I'm not sure on it. To me, it doesn't seem like a mark of the beast, but I think it could be. Might have something to do with it. I'm not sure, but Um, and the scriptures. I mean, I think the scriptures. Like I said, I'm not real versed or learned in Revelation or anything when it comes
Okay.
to that. So, but from my understanding, the mark of the beast is either going to go in your hand or your wrist or your forehead or something, and you'd have to have it and take it to do any kind of trade or
Yeah.
anything like that. And the the vaccine doesn't fit that description, as far as I
Sure.
know.
Yeah,
So
I would agree with you. I will tell you this though. I did watch a video recently where I don't know if they're able to tell on your skin, but if not on your skin, it was probably I didn't read the whole article. I just, grazed over it. But they're however it works out, they're able to tell whether you did it or not by using a special kind of a light, right? So I
mm,
don't know if it's probably a blood sample is what I would expect, or maybe like a skin sample. I don't think they can like just look at you with a light and tell. But I tell you this, I seen images and something was glowing different colors that the human body doesn't glow,
well,
right?
and
So again, don't know if that's a blood sample and they're able to just shine it on the blood sample because it was like a super close up, whatever, magnified, and it was like purple, green, and yellow, right? And
and
like I don't think your body should do any of those colors.
well, and
So
another thing too is like we're a suit like we have the idea that it's gonna be like a chip or something, but I mean you start talking about um what's the word? I can't think of the word, but like nanobots or
sure,
whatever,
okay,
nanotechnology and in blood and
yeah,
how it does stuff. I mean, who knows? Like, I mean, it could be something like that and be doing something in the blood that we don't know about. We know for a fact that it's doing something with it's doing something with like the proteins and stuff in the blood. That's why so many people had a negative effect in it with it. And I think they actually go into kind of what that was, but I know for a fact that it messed a lot of people up. I moved a guy. For one, you never heard of 20-year-old athletes in their prime dropping dead of heart attacks.
not before this, you didn't.
Not before the vaccine. And with that coming
Yeah.
up, I moved a guy. He was a surgeon. He was a medical. He was in the medical field, a medical professional, surgeon, rich
Mhm.
guy. Like he was he was a homosexual, and
Okay.
but him and his husband, we had to move them. And I mean, when I say rich, I mean millionaires, right?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
he got the jab, and
Mhm.
it destroyed the valves in his heart. So he
Okay.
had to. It almost killed him, and it came from his mouth. He said, and it was from the It was from the jab. He said,
Yeah.
I was in perfect health. I had no issues. I got that, and now it almost killed me. I had to have open heart surgery and everything else right after that. I was
Yeah.
like, wow,
I know
wow,
Tanner
that's
gets into a thing on that where he I don't know. His thing is, do you know anyone that died from it? And the answer to that is no, I do not personally know anyone that has died from that, right? I'm not gonna make up a story that I do. I don't. I do know people who I worked with a lady who her husband uh I'm sorry, not from the vaccine in and of itself, but COVID, I guess just COVID in and of itself. So, because
oh
I don't know
well,
anyone that died from either one, but I worked with a lady and her husband died from COVID,
yeah,
right? And I don't believe it was, I don't know if it was a respirator thing. I don't know if what it was. I don't know. I just know that she told me that her husband passed away, and I was like, "Oh, it's sad." And we're talking about it, and she said, "Yeah, he got COVID real bad and didn't pull through." So I don't know. Was it respirators? I don't know. I didn't ask, right? I mean, she's hurting because her husband died. I don't. That's not important. I will say this. So I have an aunt. So it was my uncle's ex-wife, but so my aunt Mel and her mom both. My aunt works for a military. She works on a military base here, and well, it's not even really a military base. They make tanks at this
yeah,
base, so it's not technically a military base. They make the tanks there. It's not far from me, whatever. But she works there, so she had to get it because she's got a government job, right? And government people were forced to do it. And then her mom got it, and her mom. I believe it was within 24 hours, maybe it was 48 hours, but they were both in the hospital with blood clots within like 24 or 48 hours of getting vaccinated. And neither of them have ever been in the hospital for blood clots at any point in their life before that. So, like,
Yeah.
that's a coincidence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
But
And
I don't know anyone that died from it.
I mean,
So I think for that.
I personally don't know anyone who died from the virus, from the corona, but there's people that I could get in touch with that had relatives or friends die from it. It's that close. It's kind of like it's kind of like cancer, right? Which I mean, I personally, my dad died of cancer, but
Okay.
you hear about people dying of cancer all the time. But do you know anybody personally that died of cancer?
No, my mom had it, but she didn't. She didn't die from it.
So
My friend's mom did die. She died from cancer.
yeah, and it's
I'm not
like
sure, to be honest with you, what type. I don't know that answer, but
but I mean, that's like the flu. The flu kills even the common cold, but the flu kills a certain amount of people every year. People die from the
yeah,
flu. Um,
sure.
so to think that COVID didn't kill anybody, I
I'm with you
you
on
know
that.
I think that's
Yeah,
absurd. Now I think it's 100% true that the numbers of COVID deaths were inflated, and I think that's evident in like states like New York, um, California, places like this, because of the government funding that they were
yeah,
receiving. I think is a big
yeah.
fraud, right?
If you had a COVID death, they were getting like 25, 30 grand. The hospitals are getting paid for someone that died of it.
Yeah. So I mean, I think there's a lot of inflation of the numbers of just strict COVID people, right? I think a lot of people who might have died and been classified under COVID might have had pre-existing conditions, might have been elderly, um, and yeah, they might have had COVID, but not necessarily evidence that COVID was the leading cause in their death. You know,
Yeah,
and that kind of inflated the numbers, but people definitely died from it
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. I believe that. I do believe that. I don't deny that at all. Um, yeah, but a lot of people do.
Yeah,
You get a lot of people that buy into that. I don't. That's a touchy subject there, right? How am I supposed to tell someone who lost someone that that's BS and it never happened? You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
if that ain't a
Like,
slap in the face, I don't know what is.
and that's kind of like the thing when it comes to um conspiracies and stuff. Like the term conspiracy theory was thrown out there to make people who really, you know, were onto some things seem nuts, right?
Sure.
But like there's a healthy suspicion and skepticism when it comes to conspiracy theorists and looking into things where there's legitimate evidence that proves your theory of conspiracy, right?
Hmm.
And then there's like an extreme, kind of like, well, nobody died in the COVID. Do you know anybody personally who died? Okay, then. So how can you say, not saying that that's Tanner's view. I'm just saying like there's an unhealthy
No, I'm with
extreme
you.
side. There's an unhealthy extreme side, and then the truth's probably somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I
No,
mean, I
yeah.
could be wrong for sure.
No, I mean, I think that, that's my sister's on that a lot, right? Where, I'm not just trying to knock Tanner, but my sisters and him have a lot in common.
Yeah,
And I'm just like, listen, it can't, to me, did it, because to them, I think it more so never existed. It was the flu. I think it was something new. And again, the flu kills a bunch of people every year too, right? I mean,
yeah.
and it's probably predominantly older people that, their bodies
Pneumonia,
aren't.
the flu, emphysema, all these kind of different illnesses do, every year to kill people.
Yeah, and if it was something new that our bodies have never dealt with, is it feasible that our bodies maybe didn't know how to counteract it properly and people are going to die from it? Probably,
For sure.
right? So I mean, I just lean into that. I don't know. I'll tell you this. I got it. I never got tested for it. but from the symptoms they say you get from it, I 100% had it.
Yeah, I did too.
You know, but again, I never got tested. I got the chills, which is something I never got when I was sick. I lost the sense of smell and taste for a while,
Yep.
which I never had from anything else I've ever had in my life. So I mean, this was new to me. Whether it was a new flu or it was a new thing or whatever the case may have been, I don't know. You know, I'm not a doctor or whatever. I could tell you that I did get sick. It was something unlike anything I've ever had. It wasn't that bad for me though.
Me
You know, but
either.
not to take away from it because I think that people did die from it.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
for me personally, it wasn't that bad. I had the chills for maybe like an hour one night. You know, where I was almost like convulsing. I was shivering so bad.
Yeah.
And you know, but that lasted like an hour. And then I couldn't smell or taste nothing for I feel like I couldn't smell anything for a couple of days, and then I couldn't taste anything for maybe like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yep.
And then like my wife, she can't do lettuce. She got it too the same time I had it. And she can't eat lettuce now. It makes her sick. If just eating lettuce makes her sick.
Oh wow.
Um, so you know that's weird, but you know that's happened after the COVID thing. So I mean, it did something to her, right? To the point where she can't do it, and it's been years. I mean, this would have
Yeah.
been probably 6 months into COVID being a thing
Oh wow.
when we got it, and and she can't, whatever. So I mean, I don't know what it did, but even with COVID in general, man, I think like, I think like most of the world got some form of PTSD from COVID just because it was like everyone got locked down, right? And you
Everybody got
weren't like
scared to
allowed.
death.
Yeah, you weren't allowed to leave your house. You weren't allowed to see, loved ones. Some people lost the loved ones that they didn't get to see again, right, because of this thing. It was an invincible it was a boogeyman, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it was so what are you supposed to do with that? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's something that you can't do nothing about. There ain't a gun in the world that could take it out. There ain't nothing. Like it's just something you can't see and it's everywhere. So what are you supposed to do about that? I don't know that answer. But I mean, I think it did something to everyone. I think I'm different probably because of that, just dealing with it and not knowing and sitting outside. Like, bro, I was staying up. I would stay up until the sun came up because I was worried that, like, because by me, all the stores were empty. You couldn't get, like, food was hard to come
Yeah.
by. Yeah, I mean, you can get, like, bread and stuff like that, but, like, getting, like, hamburger meat was hard to do. Getting any kind of fruits or vegetables was hard to do. Again, that's why we started doing the garden stuff. I just thought, you know what, let's go to Home Depot, and they had fruit trees. I bought a bunch of fruit trees, started planting them, started buying raspberry plants and strawberry plants, started doing that, and this is what the yard turned into. But, this is stemmed from not being able to like, get a hold of anything while COVID was happening. So I thought, let's just do our own thing. And, it is what it is. Um, but yeah, I mean, so it changed a lot of stuff. But like I said, I was staying up until the sun came up because I was worried someone was going to kick our door in and come try to take what we got. Not that it ever got that
Yeah.
bad here, but that was a worry I had. That was a legitimate worry I had.
Desperate people do desperate things,
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, man, like I have a lot of stuff. Like I don't be, people say like, oh, you're a prepper. I don't put a label on nothing. I would say the only label I would put on myself, I'm more of like the gray man type thing. Like I do my own thing. I'm a one man show, right? Like I don't run in cliques. I don't nothing. I do my own thing. It is what it is. I have a lot more than most because, if something kicks off in my lifetime, I want to be as prepared I can be without having to take anything from anyone else. That's my thing. So like I got a couple 100 pounds of like wheat berries and stuff like that to make bread. Okay.
Off here, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming on. A little bit. I don't know. It's pretty late. It's about
Yeah,
three
it's
o'clock
like
in the
yeah.
morning. But I might get on tomorrow too. And you're welcome to join back
Yeah.
up.
All right, I'll catch you tomorrow.
All right, bro. I appreciate
All
the
right. Yep. All right.
conversation.
Yep. All right. Thanks. All right.